now for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. If you're up and around, you're out and about, you want to give us a shout, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. This, of course, is a Monday, and we are live, not our typical Tuesday that we normally broadcast on, because it's a special edition of the Shopper Sold, the year end for 2019. We're going to try to go out with a blast, so I hope y'all ready for all of this. I need you to buckle your seatbelts and sit back and enjoy the ride, because we're going for the full gambit today, baby. That's right. We might be going for the 3-hour mark, so I hope y'all enjoy this. Some of the things we will be discussing on the show today. Of course, we got our No Sports Intended. We're going to talk to you about what Memphis lawmakers are proposing, and I think it's a good idea. It should be nationwide. Ozzie Newsome, I got a tidbit that I think I'm going to throw out here to my partners here, my Double J and Brother Rich, whatever, and see what they think about that. Kuzma's trainer had a lot to say about the people's champion, quote unquote. Some time back, we talked about the Q. Well, formerly known as the Q, which is now called the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, and the renovations. And I just saw an article the other day that we're going to touch back on it. We're going to revisit that whole deal, because what I said back then I think is relevant now, and I'm not the only one to say that. Some person in Cleveland wrote an article, and I think it's a good one. How much stock should be placed on player rankings? Got something good for that, too. Walter McCarty, if you all know Walter McCarty, he was a former Kentucky standout under Rick Pitino, now the head coach of Evansville, and his coaching tenure at Evansville may be done due to an alleged Title IX misconduct. And then, of course, my man Tiger Woods. And I got a bone to pick with Double J and Brother Rich. Tiger Woods' improbable shot, or should I say improbable putt. And, of course, the NFL playoffs, first look, and Week 17 notable team performances. But up first, we're going to discuss what happened to the Ohio State Mud Pies. Joining me on the program today to discuss this and all the rest of this I just mentioned is none other than my cap from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Brother Rich. Bro, Rich, what's happening, man?
Well, my brother and my friend, as always, I'm honored and humbled to be on this beautiful program with you and all our listeners, and certainly my man up north, Double J. And, you know, I just want to say for all the listeners and for my man, Double J, we're honored that you decided to do a show like on a day like this, because we know it's rough in Cowboy Nation right now. Y'all are going through some really rough times, and we appreciate that you toughed it out. That the trooper you are, that you decided to go ahead anyway and do the show.
Got you. Right. Seeing it coming from a fan who's of a 6-10 team. But anyway, on the other side of the ledger, we got my man from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Tell the people what you say, man.
Well, reporting live, as always, from the wild, wild Midwest. And speaking of the West, definitely want to give a nice shout-out to my guy from the West Coast, Brother Rich.
Oh, that is
so
touching. Not. Anywho, let's talk about them Ohio State mud crate crap flap bums, okay, and how they lost to Clemson, them Tigers, for the second time in a row. Now, before either one of you gentlemen weigh in on this, just let me have a little soliloquy, as Stephen A., as y'all like to call me, Stephen J., would like to say. You all know I'm a Miami Hurricane fan, and I have been dealing with Ohio State's defeating the Miami Hurricanes, however many years ago it's been now, in the national championship. And I said at the time, I got, oh my goodness, Brother Rich, you already know how the barbershop is, right? After that game, when I went in the shop, I didn't hide from it. I went up in there. See what I'm saying? That's the type of, I'm not really a fan or fanatic, however you want to put it. As much as I talk about sports, people say, well, as much as you talk and the way you talk, you would think, no, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't take none of it with me. You know what I mean? They gave me the business. But I went up in there and took my whooping. You see what I'm saying? Even though I mentioned that flag that came late, I mean, when I say late, I mean after everybody had went home, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, the refs went through the laundry out there. But here's my issue. It's not with the players. It's the fans. Because them same fans that was giving me the business, and when I mentioned that flag, told me stick it in your ear and all that, okay, my reaction was not y'all's reaction once I gave the fans the business about this most recent loss, yet again, to Clemson, right? Oh, man, I'm a hater, and I'm a this, and I'm a that, and I'm a this. Let me explain something to y'all. Y'all are the fools spending y'all's hard-earned money. And I don't knock nobody. I ain't telling nobody how to spend their money now, okay? I ain't knocking nobody's hustle. I'm just saying, don't come for my neck, all right? Because I'm coming for yourn, right? Y'all don't want spending all y'all's hard-earned money on licensed apparel. I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. Let me say that again. And I don't own not one piece of Miami Hurricane, nothing. Now, guess what? Let Brother Rich come to me and say, hey, Jay, I'm selling these shirts with my name on. Guess where my money going? To Brother Rich. Let Double J come and say, hey, Jay, I'm selling flash drives with my logo on them. Guess where my money going? To Double J. You get what I'm trying to say? Because it all lines up with what'd you say last time we was here, Brother Rich? You know what I'm saying? Even though we didn't have a show last week, you know what I mean? About James Wiseman and NCAA. You called him what, mafia and all that kind of stuff, right? I'm saying, oh, okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it all ties into that. You get what I'm trying to tell you? So in other words, while y'all walking around here all decked out in gear, guess who can't get none of that? See, you spent your money on that jersey, cost $150, $250. All right, that's cool. The NCAA got your money, but the guy's name on the back of that jersey you wearing, he ain't get a dime. I'm not supporting that no more. So don't come at me about the sports and this and that and call me whatever it is. You the fool, not me. Anyway, Buckeye fans, the first thing they wanted to do was cry about the refs. Oh, the refs stole the game. Double J, I'm sure you saw it. And Brother Rich, you might have saw it too. I know you know, that ain't really your thing, and not because you don't watch it, because you don't really waste your time on nonsense. But anyway, but the particular play about the guy who caught the ball and it was 2 steps, or was it a catch, or did he go with the follow through, or did he tie his shoe, or was he wearing pink or green? Man, miss me with all of that. Miss me with all of that. Oh, the refs took the game from us. Man, how many bad calls we done seen this year in 2019 in football, soccer, baseball, t-ball, and any kind of ball that's being played. But I say this, if you are what they say you are, then guess what? You don't leave it up to the refs. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Huh? Brother Rich, you done played. Double J, you done played. Right. And I don't want to hear nothing about the level. It ain't got nothing to do with this about being a competitor, period. If I'm going up against you, if he's in at the rec, it's competition, baby. I'm not leaving it up to the refs to decide my outcome, especially when this is my second time seeing you. See, here's what I mean when I talk about that place. And Baron Davis just said it. I just put a post up. I shared a post when Baron Davis mentioned about Jordan. He said, man, all this talk about this guy and that guy, he said, that's fine, man. He said, but that guy, I played against him. He had another level he could go to because it comes from within, like my man Kobe. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Let me see you. Let you had smacked me in the mouth like Clemson did in 2016. I cannot wait for the chance to see you again. And then I get it, and I go up 16-0. Ain't no ref deciding nothing, especially at that point. I'm punishing you from here on out. Double J, tell me where I'm lying at right here. If we're talking about competition and being competitors. Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Brother Rich, where I'm lying at? Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
I haven't heard it yet, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So I don't miss me with all of this. The refs took the game and blew the game for us. Y'all wouldn't have said that if the same situation had been for Clemson. See, that's my thing. I can tell you what it is what it is, whether it's the team I'm rooting for or not. If I watched the Hurricanes play in a game and the Hurricanes did something and they went in their favor and it was against the other team, I'd be the first one saying, man, hey, they was dead. The refs was dead wrong for that. You see what I'm saying? This ain't subjective or selective, but you a fan, then be objective. Tell the truth about it, regardless of what dog you got in the fight. Double J, how you say?
I'm going to totally agree with you here that I was a little kind of stunned, at least taken back when they tried suggesting that was why they didn't win the game.
Thank you.
They had the opportunity, and they didn't cash in.
Oh, and guess what, Brother Rich? I'm going to let you say, but let me say this too right quick. I'm glad you said it that way, Double J. Are we going to blame the refs for Ohio State kicking field goals when they number 2 rankings suggested that they should be scoring touchdowns? Because all I heard all the way leading up to these playoffs, we average 70 points a game. Okay. I said, all right, yeah. But y'all ain't been challenged yet. But we the Buckeyes, we the blue blood, the Big Ten, blah, 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 blah. Brother Rich.
Well, interestingly enough, as you said, I certainly didn't watch the game, but I certainly know people who I actually happen to have some loved ones who attended the game because they live in Arizona, and so they went to the game, and so that's the first thing they told me when they gave me the report about the game is the referee.
Mm-hmm.
But they thought that that their team hung in, but of course I'm not a fan of, contrary to popular opinion and the host of this program, miseducating people as it relates to that element.
I say the same thing about the Cowboys.
Anything.
I say the same thing about the Cowboys.
No.
Miseducating people.
I think there's enough evidence to prove that you are an avid supporter of the Cowboys and Mr. Jerry Jones, who you often refer to on this program as Jerry, because y'all got some kind of relationship and friendship. So, but absent that, I'm talking about in particular the Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm whenever I hear Ohio State and lose, I'm a fan.
Oh, got you. But right quick, Brother Rich, you seem to forget that time we was at Subway ordering them veggie sandwiches. When you went to open your wallet, you know what I'm saying, that golden Buckeye card fell out. Anywho, talking about you're not a fan of the Buckeyes.
They were trying to bribe me.
Stop it. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, man. At the end of the day, if any other team in the country don't get to use the quote-unquote, it was the ref's fault card, then I don't want to hear nothing about the mud pies either. You see what I'm saying? That's the hypocrisy. That's the thing that really, really stuck in my craw here. Huh? Why is it different strokes for different teams? Huh? But you all swear up and down, yeah, you telling the truth. Well, then be truthful about it. That's all I'm saying. Take that L. Huh? And come sit next to the Hurricanes. Yup. They be like, yeah. And you know how they do, like little third graders. Well, your Canes is garbage. I told you that. And the number to call if you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout is area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. Up next is our No Sports Intended. And here's what I found very, very interesting about this particular topic. Brother Rich, I don't know if you knew, or Double J, but the city of Memphis, the lawmakers in particular, are putting together, or I believe they're getting ready to put together some sort of legislation that would charge officers with a felony for turning off the body cameras. When I saw this, I shared the post. I'm like, oh, this should be nationwide. Let me read to you this short story here. Now, we all know, I don't think it's just Memphis, but in this particular case, Memphis police are required to turn their body cameras on during encounters with the public. Now, that's for everybody, isn't it, Brother Rich? Supposedly.
Fact.
Okay.
Fact.
But as we all know, that don't always happen. Now, Memphis lawmakers are trying to hold officers accountable. That's a key word or operative word in this, accountable, by turning the tables and charging them with a felony. And here's why. Officers have been caught hiding things recently. Surprise, surprise. Most notably in the Martavius Banks case. Now, I didn't know about this Martavius Banks case until I read this, where they say, 3 officers turned off their body cameras before shooting a man. WREG, I guess some local channel in Memphis, is now learning the full story of what Memphis police say happened on the night of September 17th, 2018, when officers shot Banks, leaving him in critical condition. Police say 3 officers deliberately hid their actions from supervisors by communicating on a radio frequency that dispatch couldn't hear and turning off their body cameras before shooting the man. The officer who pulled the trigger resigned. Why? If you ain't do nothing wrong. 3 others got suspended. Arthur Horn represents an attorney, the family of the Banks. And he said, we just think the behavior is egregious, and these officers received a slap on the wrist, Horn said. And then some rep from Memphis says experiences like theirs made him want to do more. Okay, so he's a Democrat from Memphis. He said, what we want to do is take the issue of tampering with evidence, obstructing justice, and put some specific language into Tennessee's code. Yeah, Representative Hardaway said. Hardaway's proposal meant officers would face, of course, felony charges for intentionally disabling a body camera, thus obstructing justice. But, of course, representatives with the Memphis Police Association, and I don't know why when I read that I'm thinking of the Cleveland Police Association, say the officers involved in the Banks shooting have already been punished appropriately. Let me stop right there. Do you agree with that, Brother Rich? Or is that just rhetoric?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I didn't even respond yet.
Okay. And then this the last portion here I'm going to read. It says, body camera policy violation should be exactly that, a policy violation, not a criminal law violation, said Matt Cunningham, with the Memphis Police Association. We feel it's not only excessive, but it adds to stress they have to deal with dangers. I don't know. Whoever wrote that didn't write it right. But anyway, he called the timing suspect of this legislation they trying to put forth, Memphis that is, and didn't think legislators should react to what he sees as a few bad apples in the department. What? But when Mayor Jim Strickland spoke about the incident last year, he said there were dozens of cases of officers doing the same thing, turning off their body cameras when they should be rolling. Hardaway says he thinks committee should be ready to vote on the bill in the next 2 weeks. It could then, of course, go to the full Tennessee House. Meanwhile, the Memphis Police Association says if this becomes law, cops are threatening to quit. Brother Rich, weigh in.
Well, I mean, Jay, I think at this point, to argue that we need some kind of police reform in this country, in terms of training, in terms of body cameras, in terms of how police encounter civilian population. I mean, we're not talking about getting rid of, eradicating police. We need police. Everyone would advocate for police in the communities. Nevertheless, what kind of police officers are these? These are not police officers. And as far that we should never be able to attach the word rogue and police officers in the same sentence.
Thank you.
The idea of being a police officer is that you are supposed to be the community's peacekeeper. And here you're having officers who are participating in not just crime, but absolute murder. And this is going on far too many circumstances and situations that we can point at just beyond this. So this forcing them to do this kind of thing can only help us. It can only help because there's some accountability, and the ones who quit, just let them quit.
Exactly.
So that's a wonderful thing, and every state, every city, every county could use that.
Exactly. And let me say right quick, I have friends who are police officers. So I'm it's two sides of every coin. I always say that. My heart go out to these dudes because they put their lives on the line, and what they receive monetarily is not commensurate with what they got to go through on a daily basis. I get it. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? But at the same time, and it's not to dismiss or downplay all them officers out there who do it the way it should be done. I couldn't do it. I don't see how you do it. I know they go through some stuff. One of my dudes, man, he was he started out as a police officer here in Cleveland. Then he went to Tampa. And then I don't know how, but he was really into it. He was in the service and something or another. And he ended up being on like the presidential detail or something or another. He's highly decorated. Okay, let me say that. But he and I had conversations, man. And I'm like, I'm in awe, so to speak, or in amazement, almost to the tune that most people are when I tell them about my past histories, of incarceration. You get what I'm trying to, who haven't been there. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm with you all day. But this right here, what I'm saying? There are far too many cases. My thing is the turning the institution or implementation of the body camera, number one, and then having it on, number two. That had to come from higher up. In other words, it's mandatory. So for you to turn it off, you breaking the law. It's a law that officers have to have them on. So you as an officer, you breaking the law. So what punishment should you say? And then for the police association, I get it. You want to protect yours, but at the end of the day, man, it's wrong. You protecting a wrong, and that's wrong. Double J, how you say, man?
Well, to me, there's nothing really to argue here. I feel like, look, if you're doing your job correctly, then especially when it comes to having conversations with people, or just engaging with people daily, this is your best case scenario. You should want that as a means of being able to protect yourself should something occur. Because again, you can't dispute video evidence at that point. But to hear kind of that backlash suggests to me that actually, unfortunately, the main objective, which is almost stated on every single police department that I've seen as I've traveled across the country, which is to protect and serve, is that message is being forgotten.
I don't think the serve part is, because they showing up serving up folk, but I get where you're going with it. Keep going.
And so what, again, to our knowledge, prior to, we already thought that this was the standard, when it was first implemented a few years back, which was long overdue. But yet here we are, and to hear, look, we understand that there's always going to be one bad apple across every industry and every profession, worldwide. It's kind of inevitable, unfortunately. But to hear that somebody's willing to find a new career, I can tell you one thing right now. Somebody asked me to do exactly that, to comply with that. If I've spent the better part of a decade or so training for that particular role,
I knew that's where you were
that
going.
That one change is not. Yeah, that's not going to deter me from how I essentially earn an income and make a living. But if it were that easy for me to change my mind, it either means my heart isn't in it, or I'm not doing things the right way.
That's putting it lightly or mildly. That means what was in your heart is something that you hiding behind that badge. That's what it means to me. And like Brother Richard said, if they want to quit, let them quit. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again, area code 267-687-0026. Let's move on to some NFL talk, and in particular, my man Ozzie Newsome. We already know what Ozzie was as a tight end for the Cleveland Browns way back in the day. Some of you YouTubers might not get this, but yeah, Ozzie was that dude once upon a time. Oh, he was. But here's the question that I have, or I pose to my co-hosts and all of the folks out there listening. Is Ozzie Newsome the only NFL front office person to be Hall of Fame as a player and a GM? Now, I posed this question to some of my coworkers, and they threw up John Elway. And I said, that's interesting. And they mentioned because of how he brought Peyton Manning in and so on and so forth. But I'm saying, I don't know, man. I think Ozzie is that he in a class by himself in regards, or when it comes to this, because of, if you look at his track record as being a GM, Double J, who comes close?
Well, that's a very good question. The only one that I would consider is potentially Steve Yzerman.
Oh, yeah, for the Red Wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. So we'll see what happens over the next few years here. But what he did is, with Tampa specifically, he took a franchise that was in peril and made them a contender a few years ago. Now,
instantly,
again, he's back with the Red Wings. So if he can turn that around, and you're one Google search away to see exactly what he's dealing with.
Yeah.
Think of the Red Wings in the 80s rather than the 90s.
Yeah.
And so potentially him. But as far as the job that he's done for the better part of 2 decades? Are we pushing almost 2 decades now?
Yeah. Yes.
Has it really been that long? I mean,
96.
That kind of tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The Washington president had been around, meaning the football team, for a decade, and they didn't do a thing. So I guess there's an exception to every rule. But
yeah.
I digress. The job he's done cannot be denied. You got multiple Super Bowl appearances, of course, Super Bowl wins.
Yeah.
What more can you say?
That's what I say too, Brother Rich. What say you, man?
Well, I definitely think Ozzie is the runaway winner, but somebody I would have to put in that category that it galls me to mention this franchise is Danny Ainge.
You think Danny Ainge?
Because Danny Ainge.
You think he's gonna go in the Hall of Fame as a front office person and a player?
Here's why.
Is he in there as a player? I don't know if he's in there as a player. I have to look that up.
Isn't he in there as a player?
I don't know. Double J, is he?
I don't know why he came to mind, and I'll tell you, is he in there as a player? Because that's the only person that came to mind.
Yeah, but
I
get where you're going though.
Great Celtic teams
yeah.
That's the only reason. But that's why I said Ozzie Newsome is definitely the runaway winner because. I mean, like you're talking about, look at what he did in Baltimore. And the fact that he is now responsible for getting this phenom to us.
Yeah,
he saw what was going on with this young man. So, I mean, I think he's the runaway winner, no doubt about that. No doubt.
Because when and I'm glad you mentioned that, Brother Rich, because now when you said the phenom, Lamar Jackson, he's speaking of, the one word that came to mind is legacy. He done left in legacy. That, oh my goodness! Because right now, when the guy mentioned Elway, I said, yeah, he brought Manning in, and they won a Super Bowl. They did, but at the end of the day, man, since that, Elway done look like he done jumped off one of them Colorado mountains, man. You know what I mean? You don't look nothing like. In other words, it was like, did you really see? And that's why I say Ozzie and his draft picks because a lot of them guys, and I don't have them all here. There's too many to list. Dwayne Starks and all them guys, man. They picked guys that you would almost like the Steelers. Matter of fact, maybe even since '96, a little bit maybe better than the Steelers. Like, man, who is this guy and where did he come from? It wasn't hard to go get Peyton Manning, and it ain't discrediting because the Broncos did win a Super Bowl, but I mean, outside it, and then Von Miller, he did get Von Miller. Can't argue that either. But I mean, I just think Ozzie is at 100, and if John Elway is to be considered, he probably at 14. You get what I'm trying to tell you? Yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that was a very interesting question because, and it wasn't mine. It was one of my coworkers, a cat named Leon. He kind of, he doing his own thing on the podcast side. It's called Value of Self. He'd be dropping pearls of wisdom. You might want to check it out, man. I done posted it, shared it a couple of times. The guy was on point. You know what I'm saying? His thought process is up there for real. And he threw it, but he's a sports head too, though. And he threw it at me. He's like, man, and I said, what? I said, that's good looking out for the show topic. But yeah, man, I just think Ozzie is head and shoulders above everybody else. Anybody else that we didn't think of and anybody else you might have thought of the name that we did not name or should be named, I think Ozzie's head and shoulders above everybody else. Again, if you're up and around, you're out and about, you want to give us a shout, that number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. Double J, I think I might have messed up on sending that blast out, man. Because if you didn't see it and I tagged you in it, I don't know what the heck happened, but I'll take care of that here in a minute. Let's talk about this this whole Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse deal. And here's what I find interesting about that. Give me 1 second. We got a caller here. Let's see what we got here. Caller, give us your name and tell us where you're calling from.
This is D. Gully hailing from the great state of Ohio, city of Columbus.
Okay, we didn't need you to do all that. I'm so glad I'm wearing boots in the house because it was really getting deep. Yeah, ladies and gents, we got my man D. Gully from the CO Lum bus. Isn't that better? Yeah. the great state of Ohio. Yeah, Paul Revere. The British are coming. The British are coming. Yeah. This whole deal, I wish you'd have joined us a little bit early. We'd already covered a few things, Gully. But, right now we're getting ready to chow down on this Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse article I saw. Now, check this out. Just to catch you all up to speed, for all of y'all who not familiar with, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe a couple years ago now, but we had been having discussions about, I had an issue with the Cavs, with Dan Gilbert and the announcement that was made with Cavs, about the Cavs or the Q or whatever it was called at the time, in need of renovations. I was like, that's interesting that on the heels of the Cavs winning the championship, all of a sudden the Q need a makeover. Nah, if you haven't seen it, it looks grandiose. But my problem or my issue at the time was, I said, well, wait a minute. The monies, a lot of the monies that came for this renovation came from the coffers of monies that the city of Cleveland had, I don't want to say, for lack of a better word or term, set aside, or monies that went into from taxpayers. So right around about the same time there was talk about the Q and the monies they were going, Frank Jackson, the mayor in Cleveland, was going to take a certain amount of monies and give to Dan Gilbert so he could do X, Y, and Z with this renovation or whatnot. Right around that same time, there was a vote on the docket or whatever it was in regards to minimum wage increase. And it was for $15. Well, do you know Cleveland City Council, when I say they didn't hesitate, they didn't, with the quickness, said no to that. So I'm saying, well, wait a minute. How many folks do you think? You think that everybody that sit down at the Q or Mortgage Fieldhouse, whatever it's called now, you think however many people they sit in that arena, 20,000 on a good night or whatever the case may be, you think how many of them folks you think is really them folks that got bread or got the bag, as they like to say? I'm guarantee you that at least more than a third of them folks that be sitting in them seats is folks who got a 9 to 5, who grind, who do overtime, 80 hours and 90 hours, just so they can have tickets to take their kids and stuff to the game. Them is the kind of people, and you say no to them people who want to increase, a wage increase, but you're gonna take monies that you've already been taxing them on for everything in Cleveland, and then give it to Dan Gilbert, who's already a billionaire 3,000 times over. I had an issue with that at that time. Well, check this out. Given the calamitous, jaw-dropping stories exploding daily from both the administrations of Cuyahoga County Executive Armand Budish, crook, and Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson, crook, to whom one longtime political observer recently referred to as Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Y'all love it. It might be tempting to look upon the upcoming completion of the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse as good news. It's already completed. And, of course, we know, and they call it the Temple. Why? I don't know why they're doing that. It's formerly known as Quicken Loans Arena. Well, it's already open, but you know what I'm saying. Let me read on here. Bear with me, fellas. My cursor's acting up here. Oh, they're saying this should not be celebrated. It should be mourned as the murder of democracy. It will always represent. That's the opening of the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, NASA-inspired, whatever. In Crane's Business Weekly, you all familiar with Crane's Business? Gully, I know you might be. And Brother Richard, you too. You familiar with Crane's? Yeah.
Yep.
They demonstrated once again just how thoroughly the Cavs deceived the public. These are not my words. As they swindled them from something like $160 million after interest. Comments from Cavs leadership articulate, quite without remorse, that one of the arena's big goals is to compete with marquee local event spaces, including Huntington Convention Center and with nearby bars and restaurants. Okay. These were fears that county council members explicitly fretted over before they greenlit legislation to fund the massive expansion anyway. All I'm saying to you all is, how in the world, as we revisit this, Brother Rich, I'm going to start with you. Do you justify taking $160 million from taxpayers? And now all of a sudden it looked like what you took it to do, it ain't going to do what it's going to do because the Cavs, of course, are not what everybody thought they were going to be. I like this Cavs team, by the way, because, you know, I grew up in the dirt. I get it from the dirt, and I'm always going to root for the underdog. You see what I'm saying? I'm not no front runner. But anyway, Brother Rich, help me out here.
Well, you know, Jay, there's a saying in the street that big bank will always take little bank. And it's in every community. It's understood that big banks take little banks. And here you have another example of that in the corporate sense, in the governmental sense, in a transactional sense, where you have multinational corporations who that's what Mr. Gilbert, who owns the Cleveland Cavaliers and owns these arenas, this is what he represents. He's a global phenomenon in terms of his financial impact and his ability to reach out because he's a lender and so on and so. Having said that, he's making a deal with the city of Cleveland, a poor city, a city that's struggling, that we know has been struggling for years to recapture the glory of the 1930s, if you will. A city that is one of those cities in the Midwest that's struggling to revive the economy. But yet we can find $160 million to give to as you said, a billionaire. We know this man is a billionaire. Why? Because he then tells you, if you don't give me the money, I'll just move the team. I'll move the team to so place. Seattle needs a team, and then you can hold the city hostage and say, well, because then you point to those very same fans that you pointed to, who are hardworking, who go to work, who pay their taxes, who pay their mortgage, and this is their enjoyment. He points to those same fans and says, are you going to disappoint all those people? Just like the Browns left because the owner just said, man, you know what, you don't want to give us the money, we'll just leave. Whether you agree with why they do it or not, this is what these owners do now. So this is socialism for the rich and capitalism for the poor. We take advantage of the poor. The poor run all our things, and we do all we can with them, and we take care of all of the rich people and all of the corporations with what tax incentives and buybacks and stop this and manipulations and issues like this, where we get the poor people to fund that. And that's why you see in countries like France and all over the world, this is having an effect where people are saying, we're tired of this. We don't want to live like this anymore. We don't want to fund multinational corporations so the owner can buy a bigger yacht.
Yeah. And let me, Gully and Double J, before y'all weigh in, let me read these last, it's like 4 little paragraphs. Let me read these last little 4 paragraphs because I thought this was interesting. Cavs CEO Lynn Komorowski, if I'm pronouncing that right, confirmed at the time that the Q would be seeking and hosting many events in the space, both public and private. Schron then asked why it made sense for the county to contribute $16 million to fund a competitor that would directly undercut the business of the convention center and the Global Center, also funded by taxpayers and already struggling. Komorowski said the Q would be aiming for different, unique events. But Crane reported the opposite. Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse will now have 22 meeting, banquet, hospitality, and event spaces that will be used to try to increase the 1,400 private events that the arena already annually hosts. I think people think of the convention centers and hotel ballrooms for more corporate-style meetings, said Brooke Bachman. I don't know who that guy is. Oh, I'm sorry, the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse VP of Booking and Events. But this gives us the opportunity to put our name in the ring. In other words, they are doing precisely what they said they wouldn't, competing for the same sorts of events that the Huntington Convention Center and Global Center for Health Innovation would hope to attract. Money in hand, there's now no need to disguise their true intentions, evidently. The Cavs told Cranes that they had been working with Destination Cleveland to attract these events and had even brought in a sales staffer specifically focused on convention and banquet issues. Double J, what say you?
Well, this is a classic case of manipulation.
Oh, okay.
Now, I had kind of mixed feelings on this because I've seen what Dan Gilbert's done positively for the city of Detroit as an example.
All right.
Where he single-handedly played SimCity. So I can see what can happen, but the move of this nature sound like the things that used to take place in what I would, quote unquote, consider the old Detroit, where it's utilizing taxpayer funds for very much the wrong reasons. Because here's the reality of it. Building convention center space, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. As you pointed out, and as the article states, there's a couple other venues that traditionally get those gigs, if you will. And they're hopeful that they will be able to attract more. Now, just listen to how that sounds. We want you to come here rather than there. That none of which sounds like here, but in both circumstances, it's within the Cleveland city limit, rather than saying go here to Cleveland rather than Tampa, Florida. And because of that, that's why if I'm very much opposed to the move. And then, of course, it benefits him because it's less that has to come out of his pocket to, ultimately renovate the stadium. So, unfortunately, I'm very much against it because it just sounds like the same old song and dance that I've seen before with cities that traditionally struggle.
Good stuff. Gully, what say you?
Sound like Dan Gilbert wanted his money back. When I say his money, I'm not saying that it was his money, but I'm saying from the perspective of him thinking it's his money. Think of it this way, quite simply, LeBron James. That Huntington Center and the Global Center came about because, remember, years ago, before the Shop Report was a podcast, before the Shop Report was on YouTube, Jay, you and I talked about this a long time ago. You had brought it up. You had stated that a way to revitalize, to paraphrase, the way to revitalize maybe an economy is give them something to see and do, and from there, everything else can flourish. That Huntington Center and that Medical Mart or whatever came about, it came about because the city was booming and things were attractive and all the urban renewal that was happening. That happened not before 2007 when Dan Gilbert bought the team when LeBron James was here. And it happened, and it started to happen until 2010. And it seemed like it stagnated, but there was enough of excitement, there was enough of momentum to sustain it while the Cavs rebuilt their team and struggled until LeBron James came back. And then for those next 4 years, including winning a title, the economy was where it was again. Dan Gilbert got his money back that he invested in overpaying for the team and the salary cap and this, that, and the third. Understand that the cost at the expense of the taxpayers who did finance the Huntington Center and the other center that you mentioned, Dan Gilbert say he don't have nothing to do with that, to paraphrase. Dan Gilbert had to do with the fact that he put his money he put the money up to get this thing started, to get this ball rolling, and he'd be damned if he doesn't get a chance to reap the same thing that they already reaped, the same thing that the city already reaped at the backs of the taxpayers by financing those other cities. It's a shrewd move, yes. I'm not really much a fan of it, but we got to think about, I just trying to understand or try to illustrate the perspective of where he's coming from. Ultimately, too, I think that they realized what happened the last time a beloved franchise left this city and how everyone had egg, and it was a black mark on everybody in the organizations, everybody in the cities, in City Hall, if you will, when the Browns left. And Dan Gilbert pulled the right string. He was going to threaten, perhaps he was going to threaten to leave, to go back to Seattle where a city was looking for a team, and he executed very shrewdly what he tried to do, and basically get his money back.
Yeah, I just at the end of the day,
I love when Gully's on the program because then I get to be on with a black Republican. I love being on with a black Republican.
oh, yeah. I mean, but it's still, even at the end of the day, though, man, I just still say that everything that all of this. 'Cause, I mean, if you see downtown Cleveland, they got all of this renovation and all of this. It looks aesthetically beautiful. But like Washington, D.C., you step 5 minutes the other way, and it's deplorable. So all this talk about this going to benefit that and this going to benefit, how are you going to do something that's going to benefit that you it's just flowery rhetoric. You say it's going to benefit everybody, but look like to me it's only benefiting 5 of y'all. And I ain't trying to hear that, man. I ain't trying to hear that, man. It didn't need no renovations, to tell you the truth. You know, like I said, it looked cute. You know what I'm saying, man? But at the end of the day, yeah, got you. Anywho, if you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, that number to call is area code 267-687-0026. Again, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. All right. Gully, we'll start with you on this one. Did you hear what Kyle Kuzma's trainer had to say about your boy, the people's champion? Did you hear what he Did you hear what he had to say about the people's champion? Gully?
I did. I read it. I read the statement. I read the statement, man. I don't know. I think Kyle Kuzma is going to be a Oklahoma member of the Thunder before it's all said and done.
Yeah, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, did you hear what Kyle Kuzma had to say? I mean, Kyle Kuzma's trainer. Excuse me?
Absolutely. You said it right the first time.
Okay. Double J, I'm sure you heard it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all of this knee-jerk reaction. How many times have we had We've had this discussion on the program about the NBA season as it currently is in the Today BA. It don't start until after the All-Star break. Double J, I know you be laughing every time you see a post that come up on your timeline every 13 seconds, every time the Lakers lose to this team and the Clippers lose to that team, but they both beat the other teams. Everybody saying, yeah, that's why he the GOAT, or he ain't the GOAT. He a bum, and they highlighting somebody's stats for that game or whatever it is. And I'm like, but they didn't already say it, but them same folks talking about, well, they don't take the season serious in the beginning anyway. So I'm like, would y'all make up my mind? The knee-jerk reaction to all of this stuff, right? But at the end of the day, you're measured by, to me, greatness is, and I'm going to go on no long diatribe about this, who you go up against, right? If the measuring stick or the barometer for the Lakers is the Clippers and the Clippers the Lakers, then let's not talk about nothing else. What's the record so far right now? And I'm just saying for them people who sold like the stock market up and down at the early portion of this season. What's the Lakers' record against the Clippers? Double J? This season?
Well, at least 0-1.
0-2.
0-2. Oh, okay. And then, Brother Rich, I'm going to throw this one at you. The whole idea about playing on Christmas Day, then the average folk who normally might not be, everybody is tuned in. Christmas Day in the NBA, not literally but figuratively, is like the Super Bowl, right? Folks calling off work. So if if I'm Joe Dumars, right, Brother Rich, and you Michael Jordan, and the Pistons is playing the Bulls on Christmas Day, if at no other time in the season, I'm making sure that everybody, win or lose, everybody gonna know I was in his right. And then people want to dismiss or downplay, talk about Pat Beverly blocking his shot like, oh, that ain't nothing. Pat is a defensive player. Patrick Beverly is not no defensive stalwart. He's not. He's a disruptor. But let's be real. Pat Beverly ain't what Tony Allen was. Not at all.
So he's more Bruce Bowen.
Man, Bruce Bowen was Bruce.
Right.
Listen, no man, don't even get me started on Bruce Bowen. Don't even get Bruce Bowen was a I guess you could say that. Yeah, I guess now that I'm sitting here mulling it over. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Bruce Bowen used to kick people in the back. Man, stop it. Man, Bruce Bowen wasn't no lockdown. Bruce Bowen wasn't no lockdown. He wasn't no lockdown. He was a disruptor. Yeah, you know what I mean? Heck, Avery Bradley's more of a lockdown if you ask me. But anyway, I'm not going to get into all of that. My point is, Kyle Kuzma's trainer then came out and said what basically Bosch said, Kevin Love said, Deshaun Stevenson said, Rafer Austin said. So, Double J, are all these people lying? Help me out here now. What am I missing here?
Well, you're missing selective data.
Oh, okay. Well, let me throw this in right quick too, because Kuzma's trainer was specific. He said Bron ain't working hard and is scared of Kawhi. Then Kuzma, with the tweet came, call a spade. But go ahead, Double J.
Well, I mean, this is something we've been somewhat aware of for a while now.
We, as in people who use their intelligence and have wherewithal. Got you. Go ahead.
Right. So, you have a ton of bias by the general population regarding their feelings. They use their hearts over their head with their judgment. And again, we'll find every random statistic that Jordan or Kobe didn't accomplish to use against, or rather,
to validate. Against,
absolutely. So with this, you have someone that, to ourselves and to the general public, has really no real dog in the fight to suggest that to make the claim that he made. He really has no reason for doing so, other than it just being a fact.
Yeah. Oh, like how you said that.
And
go ahead.
But I've said it before. Kuzma has, in my opinion, Jimmy Butler type of potential if he's got if he's given the right opportunity. Something I found kind of interesting yesterday is he was on limited minutes by the coaching staff, and I kind of asked myself, I'm wondering if that had anything to do with what was said.
Oh, please! Of course it did.
He had Kobe in attendance yesterday evening as well, and so.
Oh, hold that thought. Brother Rich, did you watch the game the other day when Kobe was in against the Mavericks? This is another reason.
Absolutely.
This is another reason. Everybody talk about Brown's off the court stuff, deservedly so. But Kobe is global for real. The man was speaking in Luka's language. Where they do that at? Who doing that, bro, Rich? Who doing that?
Kobe.
Luka said, he said, I heard somebody talking about Slovenia or whatever. He said, I looked over and it was Kobe. I said, oh, man, the boy is diversifying his funds, y'all. Continue, Double J. My bad. Did I help? You had a senior? Oh, I'm about to say, I hope you didn't have a senior moment like me. I hope it ain't rubbing off.
Brother Rich has been saying this from the jump, that Kuzma's going to be held accountable, that the coach is going to be held accountable. Everybody, any willing body, any body that is in a purple and gold uniform or belongs to that franchise is susceptible to being thrown under that bus. But the last one that will ever do so is LeBron himself. And so fortunately, they're winning. Their record is what it is. We, as purists, understand that it is as fraudulent as it comes. But Kuzma may have ruined the opportunity for the team itself to get the most value out of him.
By telling the truth, basically.
And to me, I believe that was done on purpose. Look, if you're going to move me, that's fine. But here's the thing: I'm not going to allow you to
make me the scapegoat.
Go win a title. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
at my expense.
Yeah, and that's the problem that I have. Without going again, this long drawn out thing. All the other players that we mentioned when we have this conversation, or when the conversations are being had about Golden Grade and this and that, I don't recall any of the other guys being so quick to throw the others that they say they ain't got no help but always in need of help, throwing them under the bus. I don't recall any other guy who got a track record for teammates who have had to sacrifice and then fell off the wagon. In other words, what Kevin Love was in terms of production before LeBron, Chris Bosh before LeBron, all these. Listen, when cats played with Jordan, whatever they were before Jordan, they were either at least still that or were slightly above. Kobe too. You understand what I'm saying? But why is it bodies in this dude's wake? And when we had this conversation, folks try to want to be legitimately have a conversation and act like that ain't happen. Whatever you are, there's too many cases surrounding this dude with cats who are what they were. All I know is, and it wasn't from you, Brother Rich, of course. I ain't talking about the true Laker fans. I ain't talking about the Lakers fans who was Lakers fans and wearing their purple and gold during the lean years. Okay? And I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about these ones who just jumped on. At the end of the day, the conversation, when we surrounding the Anthony Davis talk, everybody, if I'm not mistaken, was cool with getting rid of Ball and Hart and Ingram. Just keep Kuzma. Isn't that what was said, Brother Rich? Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, he could be that third option. Now that he looks stale, for lack of a better word or term, you can get rid of him. You can trade Kuzma and get some people. What? How? I just never saw a guy who's supposed to be better than everybody else who ever did it since the day it was James Naismith invented the game. Just never, ever in my life, I just ain't seen nothing like this, man. Always in need of help and always getting rid of the help. I do not understand it. Gully, help me out, man. Help me out.
Okay, do any of you guys follow the PBA, Pro Bowlers Association?
I used to, and I can't even think of my man's name that was tearing up the wood. The guy with the mustache, with the thick mustache, the crew cut, lightweight. But anyway, go ahead.
Imagine that guy dominating, but in a tournament, they put the bumpers up for him.
Right. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
This has been the sum total of my point about LeBron James saying, on the basis of him being considered the greatest of all time, he's overrated. Because you look at all of his otherwise ability. I mean, 9,000 is ball dominant or not, ball hog or not, ball dominant or not. His statistical numbers speak to a level of being able to be productive at his rate throughout his career that should be worth noting in the positive. That being said, there are too many moments in the postseason or in the off season with things that the greatest player of your generation or arguable greatest of all time should not have associated with himself. What Kyle Kuzma and his trainer illuminated is one of those things. It's not old school to want to play up to your competition when you see them. Case in point, the one thing that I said, this is the opposite of Carmelo Anthony's problem. Carmelo Anthony, I feel like his problem throughout his career is he only played when he had a point to prove. So if Carmelo Anthony and the LA Lakers were on the Christmas Day game versus the Clippers and Kawhi, you would see the best of Carmelo you ever had. You always seen it when he played Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, any of his contemporaries. You just didn't see it when he played the Bucks and they were fighting for a playoff spot.
That is a great point. But let me say this right quick. Brother Richard said the same thing. How many years ago, Brother Richard? 400 years ago? Oh, my bad. Keep going, Gully. Okay. Said the same. That is a great point. I'm about to prove a point, and I'm glad you said it that way because you just brought to mind. I don't know if you remember this, Gully. Maybe not you, Double J, and this ain't no knock against y'all, but I know you, Brother Rich. When Bird and Dr. J got into a scrap, I think that was in a preseason game. This is why I don't understand this about this early in the season. Cats ain't taking the season serious. Man, stop it. And guess what? You're right. The first 10 games of a regular season in 82 ain't the same as the playoffs. But Bird said to Doc, and Doc said to Bird. That's the way we end up scrapping. I'm letting you know right now, if I see you in the playoffs, this is what it's going to be. This is what it's going to be, son. I ain't waiting until after the All-Star break. That's why I get it. These new guys, everybody love these new guys. But I'm so sick and tired of y'all trying to act like basketball didn't start till y'all was born. Man, sit down somewhere in the corner. Sit down. That was a good point, Gully. Brother Rich, go ahead. How you say?
Well, that's a good place to start. Where you left off in a good place. I'll start there. You asked me recently to go and look at a documentary that was on NBA TV. I'll ask the listeners to do the same thing that you asked me. And it is a documentary about the life of Dr. J. Julius Erving. And in there, you recall a player from the past. And if you really love the game, Malcolm gave us, and historians have taught us, about the value of history, no matter what we're dealing with.
Thank you.
So you can't say you love basketball and disrespect the history of the game.
Thank you.
And you have in that documentary, George Gervin says this. George the Iceman Gervin. The fans need to go back and find out who that is. In this documentary, he says this. He said that what made Dr. J great and that time great and the ABA great was that the ABA was not about, everything got to be a play. So they understood even then when they were talking analytics, the NBA was on this, no, everything has to be set up. And he said, no, people like Dr. J said, no, this is where I take the game into my own hands because that's the fundamental nature and the difference about the game of basketball. So what Kuzma said, and here's why I want to just drop this little tidbit because I'm going to ask you all to pull the tape. We said this about Kuzma a while ago, that he's going to be the first person thrown off the ship. Yep. And here's why we understood that. Yep. Because Kuzma is the disciple of Kobe Bryant, and because Kuzma in the gym with LeBron is going to know that LeBron does not have the work ethic of Kobe Bryant. Because here's what I ask you all to do, and I'll end it here. I defy anybody who's listening to this. Go pull any tape anywhere where you show me LeBron in any kind of serious, heated workout with other NBA players in the summer. You don't ever see it because LeBron's work ethic is not that. LeBron works hard to look like he's working hard, but he does not work hard on his game in the gym. He just is a supremely gifted individual that could play basketball, and he just has fun doing it. But he has never devoted himself in the sense of perfecting, getting his
craft,
his, jump shot to be a consistent
free throws,
getting his free throws down. Or getting a go-to move. He's the only player in history that is rated the way he's rated that does not have one single go-to move. I defy his followers to show me that. And the last thing I'll say is this. LeBron fans who you call Laker fans, they're not Laker fans. They're LeBron fans.
Okay, got you. Got you. Yeah, good stuff. Double J, did you weigh in on that? I was so gone on the thing. You had to say, didn't you? Or did you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, that's a senior moment for you. If you're up and around, you're out and about. Good stuff, fellas, on that one right there. Anyway, ooh, that was good. Yeah. Truth is what we do here on the program called the Shop Report. If you're up and around, you're out and about, you want to give us a shout. The number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again, area code 267-687-0026. All right, fellas, moving on. Another Facebook post I saw. Now, I won't lie. Facebook is good for some things. You got a lot of folks out there. I'll give it up to them. They post some things that make me go get a pen and paper, right? Which is what I say about to today BA players versus yesterday players. When you're watching a lot of these today BA players, okay, got your popcorn. Excuse me. But them yesterday players, you better have a pen and a pad, especially with my man Kobe's and the Jordans. And matter of fact, to some lesser degrees, the Andrew Tonys and the Vinnie Johnsons and the Mark Prices. But I digress. I digress your eyes. They did a player ranking. I'm in this group. I'm in a multitude of groups. Appreciate y'all. It's called NBA Basketball and Sports News Talk plus Fantasy DFS. I don't even know what DFS means. D as in David, F as in Frank, S as in Sam. Picks Debate Group. And some cat named College Kid, spelled with a K, excuse me, puts up this post. And I don't think he put up this post to try to, like, this is what his stance is. He just, because the emoji he put was like one of, like, shock. Draymond Green, and we talking about player rankings. How much stock do you place in player rankings? Draymond Green is ranked 15th on Bleacher Report. This is why I'm not really a fan of Bleacher Report because they cater to sensationalism too. Bleacher Report's top 50 players of the 2010s list. And it's another thing I want to throw out here at you all too. You all got to be careful about your sources and your so on and so forth. And Gully, you mentioned that to me as well, even though I knew better, but still, you reminded me of such. Because some people post stuff or some people put stuff out just to get a reaction, shock jocks and so on and so forth, right? And this is what I think Bleacher Report was doing. Excuse me. Draymond was ranked 15th on Bleacher Report's top 50 players of the 2010s list, while these players, and I'm about to mention the players and what their rankings are. There are 4 players that they have. Now, again, Draymond is ranked 15th out of Bleacher Report's top 50, right? We got that part, right? Bleacher Report has Kobe Bryant 16th, Anthony Davis 17th, Klay Thompson 21st, Chris Bosh 25th. Brother Rich, holla at me, man.
Well, I mean, I often refer to Kobe as the most disrespected superstar of all time. And, I mean, this is a prime example of that. And, again, the reason I wouldn't even know what Bleacher Report rated because I don't pay attention to people like Bleacher Report because I don't have respect for people like that. I don't have respect for reports like that because they're rooted in the foolishness of I want to catch the today audience. It's not rooted in any kind of history. There's nothing in basketball history that would allow you to have a rating that would rank Draymond Green before Kobe Bryant. No basketball player or no serious basketball person would do that. So when you even mention a report that could even disrespect him like that, I mean, that lets you know where that's you take that and put it in your dog kennel or your bird's nest. Or, that's
Yeah.
what you do with the Bleacher Report.
Yeah, good stuff. Double J, what say you?
Well, this is a way of getting people to talk about something because, unfortunately, there's no logical way that, and that's my problem with these lists, is, they need to come with a legend as to this is why I value something more than the other. Because otherwise, if you looked at both players, they're not. If we were to put a dollar amount value,
Look, Double J can't even get it out. He can't even believe this nonsense. Well, go ahead.
Because this is downright.
Slow down, Kemosabe. Slow it down.
Defamation of character. He should sue
Good.
that
Yeah.
for that type of. I can't believe that this we're talking about this right now.
Yeah, I can't either. But I had to throw it out here because I didn't want to think I was the only one that was crazy. Crazy, yeah. Yeah. Asinine is what it is. Excuse me if anybody thought that was profane. But, yeah, asinine. I said it again. Asinine it is. Double J, if you were done with your comment or your response, I'm going to go slide it on over to Gully. Were you done?
Yep.
All right, good deal. Gully, weigh in. Yeah.
The top players. Yeah, wait, hold on. We Sparks about to fly now. It's the top players of the 2010s.
No.
Okay.
No. They top 50. Bleacher Report's top 50 of the 2010s. Let's be Pacific now.
50 players of the 2010s. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You guys got to be specific.
Okay.
The top 50 players of the 2010s. Okay? My only issue, the only issue I don't have is that Draymond is rated higher than Kobe Bryant at any level. Now, the degree of which where they put Draymond versus where they put Kobe, that might be something. But at base level, Draymond from 2010 to the end of this decade, I can understand being rated higher than Kobe Bryant. First of all, in this decade, Kobe Bryant and the Lakers did not go to the NBA Finals. They won their last championship. Well, no, 2010 is part of this decade. They did win a title.
Hold it.
Okay,
hold on. I see where you're going, but let me just hold up. I'm not even weighing that on who won what and who didn't win what. I'm talking about the player himself. While Draymond Green was the kind of player.
The player himself. We're not talking. Listen, the
Draymond Green
himself,
shouldn't be ranked higher than Kobe Bryant in nothing. Draymond Green should be ranked higher than Kobe Bryant in nothing.
From
ever.
2010, if you look, no. Listen.
Draymond Green should not be ranked higher than Kobe Bryant. Let me tell you something. And I respect Draymond Green. I loved him at Michigan State. And I ain't disputing what you're saying. I'm with you. It's a highly intelligent thought. I'm with you. But I'm saying, on the eye test, Draymond Green should not be ranked higher than Kobe Bryant ain't in the league no more, and Draymond Green shouldn't be ranked higher than Kobe Bryant. On nothing. Come on, man.
That's hard to say, man.
Well, listen.
That's hard to say if we're talking about as specific a scope as this decade. We're not even talking about the whole career. The rest of his career, Draymond Green has yet to play the rest of his career, and it's fair to say that I don't know that Draymond Green will get close to Kobe Bryant if we look at the rest of his body of work.
Okay,
However, if they continue to win titles.
Okay.
And he continues to be as instrumental, has a center who's undersized even in this league, who plays the position like a point guard, which is despite considering this is going towards a positionless game of basketball, Draymond Green is still doing something that is still unique at his position.
Let me tell you. Listen.
This decade?
Listen, I get what they're saying. They trying to be real crafty by throwing in the 2010. I get it, and I get where you going with it. But I'm saying I'm moving every number out the way and everything. Let me explain to you right quick the reason why Kyrie Irving might be a head case now. That's a stove for another day. Walked up to Kobe Bryant and said, "I will bust your." Let me explain to you why Allen Iverson went up to Michael Jordan and said, "I'm about to cross your over." Because Draymond Green is not the player that if you the up-and-coming player, you walk up to and know that if you bust his ass, that you're going to make everybody going to notice. With all due respect to Draymond Green and his impact with the Warriors in the championship, Kobe Bryant is the guy. Jordan is the guy that the other guys say, if I whoop his, everybody going to know who I am. And Allen Iverson was a dog in high school in football. And I'm just a sidebar right quick. I was having this conversation with a couple days ago. When it comes to being straight up an athlete, and I don't do lists, but it's 3 cats maybe 4 that I would point to right quick as far as being pure athletes: Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson, Allen Iverson, and maybe Darryl Green. As far as athletes. Now, I don't know all the sports and all the players and so on and so forth. I'm just saying that I can remember right now. What I'm saying to you is, this ain't about championships. This ain't about points per game. This ain't about free throw percentage. This ain't about field goal percentage. This ain't about three-point percentage. This ain't about plus or minus. This ain't about per. This ain't about BPI. This ain't about college football playoff rankings. This ain't about AP poll. This ain't about USA Today. This ain't about none of that. This is about when you walk in the gym, even LeBron James, and I thought it was very disrespectful, stepped over Draymond, put his in his face and walked away like you ain't gonna do that to Kobe. And if you do, just like Baron Davis said about Jordan. He said, man, just like Gary Payton said about Jordan. He said, man, I was talking smack to this dude in a preseason game. And Jordan was like, hey, leave me in. because I got a point to prove. Draymond Green ain't nobody that the player coming up and coming got a point to prove. Draymond Green ain't that guy. But I get what they trying to do here. I see what they trying to do. I ain't buying what they selling. And I ain't saying Draymond Green shouldn't be ranked at all. But like you started out, for Kobe to be 17th on anybody's list in any era for any reason is a disrespect, number one. Number two, for Draymond Green, with all due respect to Draymond Green, he shouldn't even be ranked higher than Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was the Toronto Raptors. He was the Toronto Raptors. They shouldn't even have Bleacher Report is foul for this. And I get what you're saying. You basing it on the 2010s and the information in front of you. I get it. And somebody can make an argument. But I'm saying the reason why Draymond Green should not be ranked higher than Kobe on this list cannot be quantified. It cannot. Kobe was a killer. When Kobe walked in the gym, dudes was like, oh, no. When Bird walked in the gym, Bird said, I'm about to bust your. As Bird said, you know what? I got so much non-respect for you. I'm going to play the whole game with my left hand. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. In college, they said, you know what? The NCAA said, you know what? That's it. Ain't no more dunking for 10 years. He said, I'm trying to tell you. I don't want to say it transcends, but Kobe is one of them guys, man. What he got inside of him, Draymond Green got to do circus type stuff to try to even come one iota close. Come on, man. Draymond Green ain't even the B and the E in Kobe. He ain't the A or the I. You see what I'm saying? But Draymond Green, I respect. Would I want to play with him? Of course. And I'm going to tell you something else right quick, real talk. If you ask me if they were standing side by side and you said you get these the last two guys picked and you could pick one of the two, and them two guys was Draymond Green and Ben Wallace, I'm taking Ben Wallace. See what I'm saying? Now, listen, I ain't trying to kill where you was going with it. I know I overtook it, excuse me, but I'm just letting you know I can't even really find the words to express why I'm saying to you, if I didn't say it already, why Draymond Green shouldn't be ranked over Kobe on nothing, man. Nothing. Man, didn't nobody fear Draymond Green? Now, they hated him. They hated him. Why they hate him? Because they feel like he was a dirty player. He do under kind of stuff or whatever it is. He is a junkyard dog kind of player. See what I'm saying? He's a complimentary piece. Kobe was the piece. Feel me? Mike was the piece. Tiger is golf. With all due respect to Jack Nicklaus, Bobby Johnson, whoever else it was, and all of that, Serena Williams is you see where I'm going with this, man? Kobe was the piece. Not a piece, the piece. A piece can't touch the piece. And it's only been on a couple of occasions, you know what I'm saying, regardless of the sport. Double J just mentioned earlier about Iserman. Oh, matter of fact, not even Iserman. Wayne Gretzky was hockey. That's like saying, I don't know, Patrick Suppan. I like him. Ranked ahead of Wayne Gretzky, so to speak. Man, no, I'm sorry. And you, my dude, I got utmost respect for you. You bring value to this program. But if you think about it in that context, Draymond Green, man.
Right, because there's no way in that context you're doing. That's why it's clickbait. You cannot get to your assertion that Kobe Bryant shouldn't be ranked unless you're looking at a 17-year body of work. And most of what made him happen before 2010.
No, I'm looking at
no. The reason why Kobe Bryant continued to get that sort of respect is because of the moments that happened before this decade. Remember, if it was you yourself that said, remember, they were so pivotal.
Gully, before you finish that, because I'm not gonna. I love you, and I'm not. You're my brother and my friend, and I'm not gonna let you go wrong. Stop. Did Kobe Bryant not look at? Did Shaq not tell the world? He said, I looked at this man and said, man, why don't you go ahead and have 50? And the man went out and had 60. Was that not his last game playing before the world? And he's showing that I'm going out after 20 years. And did that not contribute to his legacy? What are you talking about things that contribute to his legacy happened before? This was in 2016 this happened. So what are you talking about? That this is Kobe Bryant we're talking about, whose legacy was not just whether he won a championship or not. It was that every single night he brought something to the gym that made you understand you were on the court with a special talent. That didn't cease to exist in this century because the Golden State Warriors won some titles, and that young man, he's a wonderful player. But as Jay said, he's a piece. He's not the piece. Nobody cares whether or not. Even though they talked about when he came back, the Cavs would, wait till he comes back. They lost when he came back. It would have been totally different with somebody like Kobe Bryant. This is what Jay is telling us. We don't wrap our mind up, Draymond Green. No, we applaud him as a great basketball player, but nobody fears him on the basketball court.
But let me put it this way. Numbers aside, if you walk in the gym and you see you got to play Draymond Green that night, you might put on some elbow pads because you know it's gonna be a little rough. It's cats who walked in the gym and seen they had to play Kobe that night. They say, Coach, give me a DNP. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Give me a DNP. Give me a DNP. Listen, and I'm not saying that they are the same because we've had the discussion about, and some people argue that Kobe might be a little bit better than Mike and so on and so forth. I'm just saying they're what they were made of. Everybody that watched basketball whenever knew that Gary Payton never shut up. Mike shut him up. Tony Allen, a well-respected defender, maybe not offensive player, but a defender respected by all his peers before and probably after him. He said, Kobe said, he said, man, when I was in every night, I knew I was going to be tore out the frame dealing with that dude. And Tony Allen said, yeah, I knew. He said, it would be weeks before the game. I knew he was playing the Lakers. Oh, I'm doing extra I'm doing extra squat, I'm doing extra everything. Because I want to ain't nobody going through no pregame to the pregame to the pre-pregame game preparation for Draymond Green. Now, see, Bleacher Report was wrong for trying to throw that 2010 in there. See, that's the twist. And you're right, it's clickbait. That's my point I'm trying to make. It's clickbait. Ain't nobody 2010s. Man, when I seen that, man, I almost threw my computer. And I only got one and can't afford another one. I almost threw it out the window. Slappy the Squirrel was out there like, yeah, man, I want to text my brother. Okay, you can hear. Are you kidding? I said, man, they dead wrong for that, man. Kobe and Draymond Green, that don't even sound right. And he was a key component to the Warriors, what they did. No question about it. This is not to minimize Draymond Green and what he was for the Warriors or what he is for the Warriors. But Kobe and the guys who played against him had the same sort of response that Bird and the Celtics had when they played against Jordan, even though Jordan lost when Jordan dropped that 63. Bird said out his own mouth, he said, man, it took everybody to stop this mother. You know, with Draymond Green, all you got to do is say something bad, say something he don't like, and he going to have 3 fouls. See what I'm saying? I watched Kobe, and I don't remember all the games, but I just remember the moment. Shaq was in foul trouble, sitting on the bench. It might have been either in the finals or maybe like Western Conference Finals or something. And Brother Rich, you a Kobe fan, and you're a big proponent of LeBron James
Right.
too. While we talking, Kobe shot a jumper and
Right.
missed badly, and he said, "Oh, okay." And I mean, folks was clowning him. The other team, he looked over at Shaq and was like, "Oh, I got this." I don't know what he did after that, because I've seen it. With all due respect, that what he went to another level. Draymond Green don't go to another level. 2010, 2009, 2015, 2018, 2025. The only other time not only other time, but in the most recent memory that I've seen where a guy was, and see, this is what I expect from great players. When I seen a guy going up, not only the equivalent of what he was supposed to be, but probably a little bit better as a team, but he put on a performance, and it was like nobody else was in the gym. And that was, one said, Mr. LeBron James against the Pistons. I came into the shop the next night. They were like, "Yeah, what you got to say?" I said, I'm a purist. Who would argue that? I said, hey, you remember what Will Smith said to Martin in Bad Boys, the first one? When he he beat the dude to the spot, the little in between the two. What? Now that's how you supposed to drive. Okay. That's how you supposed to do it. Man, LeBron put on I was like, man. I said, you sure they playing the Pistons? And I'm talking about the Pistons with Rasheed Wallace and Ben Chauncey, Big Rip. And matter of fact, right quick, do you think all them guys on that team might be all of them might end up being Hall of Famers? Okay. Yeah, that's what you do. You don't let Patrick Beverly block your shot, is all I'm saying. I'm just saying, Draymond Green, he ain't Patrick Beverly now, by no means, but he ain't Kobe Bryant, man. He ain't Kobe Bryant. He ain't Kobe Bryant. Gully, I ain't mean to cut you off, man. We got to keep it rolling. But it was good stuff. It was good stuff all day long. But excuse me. But folks out there, if you're up and around, you're out and about, you want to give us a shout, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again, area code 267-687-0026. All right. I don't know if you all have heard the story yet or read the story, but former Kentucky standout, he was a baller at Kentucky too. I think he was over there with Tony Delk. Walter McCarty. You all know Walter McCarty? The head coach of Evansville, who, by the way, earlier this season, his Evansville, I don't know what they call, beat Kentucky. But he was placed on administrative leave, man, amid Title IX violations of alleged misconduct. I'm thinking this man's tenure might be over because the alleged misconduct, and I don't know how true this is. That's why I really didn't want to say this part, but I am going to say, kind of touch on it a little bit. Allegedly, and I really emphasize allegedly, said he done got some girl pregnant or something or another. And I'm like, whoa, you ain't just messing with somebody you ain't probably end up messing with, but you done went all the way to the end with it. Oh, my gosh. So, Double J, I'm going to start with you. You've been wait on the quiet side over there. I know I took over the last one, but do you think his tenure as coach of Evansville, and they 9-4, by the way. And again, did I not mention they beat Kentucky? Oh, I did. They were on the come up. You think his tenure as a head coach of Evansville, is it over?
Well, yeah, whenever look, violations, there's levels. And unfortunately, this is, a death sentence that he may have to resign.
Yeah, I heard that too.
You may just see him resign to try to get the media, the spotlight off of him. But unless he really believes that there's no wrongdoing and it's somehow a big misunderstanding, which I'm sorry, when you get those types of allegations, thrown your way with your name attached, again, if it's truly, if you've done nothing wrong, you're already on the horn with your lawyer countersuing whoever is making that claim.
Yeah,
but
right.
that has not happened.
Right.
it's somewhat of what the Fifth Amendment. At this point.
Yeah.
And that's, again, it's disappointing, and I don't want to speculate on it too much again until things are confirmed. Because
we won't spend a whole lot on this.
I read what some similar things that you've read.
Oh, yeah.
And if it turns out to be the case, that's incredibly unfortunate. But I'm intrigued to know more about the whistleblower and some of the other details as to how the origin of all of this.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's sad because I root for guys like that, and I told you I come from poor stock. I'm the oldest out of 10 kids, man. You know what I mean? But that underdog, I love it. I love it. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're an underdog and you come up as an underdog, getting it out the dirt, as I mentioned earlier, then you got a good chance of being mindful or staying mindful when you do have some success of where you came from. And you will remember that even with the success, you won't allow the success to give you the big head. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to the other way around. Guys with the false sense of entitlement, when the first time adversity hit them, they go off the deep end. You feel what I'm saying? So when I read this and I saw they beat Kentucky, I was like, man, I'm like, oh, okay, Evansville, okay. Come tournament time, they might be, that Cinderella, so to speak. I just like the mid-majors who make an impact. A few years back, Trevor Hoffman and Antonio Gates at Kent State. It's way more than a few years, right? Antonio Gates been in the NFL for 16 years? So his Kent State days, whoa, yeah. But I'm just saying, I like them kind of, let the underdog come up. Then I read this story, and I'm like, oh, man. If you don't want to be in don't put yourself in a predicament. Okay? Believe me when I tell you. I told y'all where I work at. Man, there's a whole lot of ladies down there wearing yoga pants. Okay? I got eyes. I can see. But that ain't for me. You see what I'm saying? I'm at a stage in my life where I got an application you got to fill out. See what I'm saying? I need, if you ain't messing with somebody who's going to help you grow to where you're trying to go, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. So, yeah, I read this story, man. I was my jaw dropper. I was like, oh, man, don't tell me this. Don't tell me. Oh, man, somehow, some way, please let it not be T-Rule. Please let it not be T-Rule. Gully, we come to you. You're shocked by this? Not surprised by this, or what?
Yeah, it's sad. When you're not in a position to defend yourself on such a serious allegation, it does make people more skeptical, if you will, about what's being said about you. That's not. It's a shame on the program, because guys think about it. Anytime a player or a coach anytime they leave, it affects the recruiting, right? Guys make decisions based on who's there. Yeah. And it's that to happen, and then to such a degree, when we already were talking about, the ethics, if you will, making the ethical decision, an ethical choice. Like, right. You're right, man. There's other areas, there's plenty of other ways by which to socialize or to have one's curiosities met. Yeah. Not in such a way that puts you in such a position, man. So that's poor judgment, and really, it's a poor judgment. It's a bad example set, and I just, and it's really unfortunate. And that's all I really want to say about it, man.
Yeah, because there ain't really too much you can say. You know what I mean? It's just
exactly.
It's disheartening, as how I would sum it up. It's disheartening, Brother Rich. Help us out here, man. You know what I mean?
Well, unfortunately, I was on a text chain when this happened, and the person that texted me assured me at that time that he was done, that he took, and they have a reason to know. So, unfortunately, it's exactly what all of you have touched on it already. It's an unfortunate circumstance when somebody gets an opportunity and he or she misappropriates whatever the resources that are available to them, be they human or financial. And in this case, we have an abuse of resources that is available to a person who gets a prominent position. Being a head basketball coach on a major university campus in the United States is a prominent position, and a lot of resources are available to you. And you unfortunately, sometimes people get caught up in it. And it appears that this young man has gotten caught up in it. We hope that he gets an opportunity to rehab himself and then come back perhaps on a different level, at a different day, in a different way, and gets his life together.
Yeah, I got an uncle used to tell me, man, don't let that boy beat you out. Don't let him beat you out. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. Okay, up next, my man Tiger D. Woods. But before I go into what it is we got to talk about Mr. Woods about, I got a bone to pick with Double J and Brother Rich today. Gully, I'm glad you're not in on this. Don't get in this, because you can get some smoke too. Ain't that how the young people call it? Smoke? I don't even know why they call it that. You can get some.
Yeah. Hear that? What is it? Of some barbecue?
Yeah.
In Texas,
Oh, barbecue.
Texas barbecue.
Yeah. Stop it. I got a bone to pick with you, and you're right. Just like Shaq would say, both of y'all about to be barbecue chicken. All of this talk. All of these weeks we've been doing this P-Rogram. Y'all been talking about Jerry Jones and Jerry's World and all of this Dallas Cowboy talk. I cannot believe that I have two aficionados, golf and soccer aficionados, and not neither one of yous mentioned Tiger's improbable putt. When the man...
Because it wasn't so improbable to us.
But it was
probable. It wasn't improbable.
Hold on, wait a minute. That ain't got nothing.
It wasn't improbable.
It don't have to be improbable to y'all. Y'all didn't tell me about it. That's what I'm saying. Because you know why? Because y'all was too busy talking about Jerry Jones and Bobby Johnson and I don't even know the coach's name no more. And Zeke Elliott, Ewok, y'all Dak and Yak and all that. Y'all was telling, I'm starting to think y'all lightweight undercover Cowboy fans, really. That's what I'm starting to think here. Because normally
you said that you weren't unavailable by phone. You had meetings with the Cowboys about the coaching staff and what the next steps were.
Oh, my bad, Freddie Kitchens. Shh. My bad, Freddie Kitchens. Oh, don't get in on this, Brother Rich Dorsey, because you about to be let go too. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, back to my man Tiger. Now, somebody put a video up. They kind of embellished it a little bit. They added a little bit to it, made it look a little bit more extreme than what it was. But I'm just saying, for the man to hit the putt and almost simultaneously turn around and tip his cap like, it's over. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why I say Tiger and Kobe and Jordan and Bird and all them dudes and Magic and Kareem. And when they let you know, listen, and Pete Rose, Barry Bonds, them kind of guys, you know what I'm saying? Like what they say about Babe Ruth, he used to do what? Call his shot. When Tiger took his hat off with to shake the man's hand and wasn't even looking at the ball as it dropped in, he letting you know. Y'all can't see this. Even with a bad back, no hair, George Jefferson. Matter of fact, me and Tiger, we look the same. We look just alike. Let me take my hat off. I'm seeing y'all a picture. We look just alike. Yeah, baby. The roof is open. But for my two esteemed co-hosts, Gully, don't get in on this. You don't want none of this right now. You don't want none of this. This is for Double J and Brother Richard right now. For my two esteemed co-hosts, whether I was unavailable by phone or not, somebody out there, Double J, got my DM or could have Facebooked me or somebody. Brother Richard could have sent me an email. Man, did you see what Tiger did? But no, I had to be happening along, scrolling, looking for some stuff to discuss today on the P-Rogram. I say, what happened there? What? Like the Far Side. Put it in reverse, baby. I said, did Tiger do that? Then I saw the little made-up video that somebody else did. It just really took it over the top. But I said, no, my co-host did not inform me that this man did it again. Showed you the reason why. When he ain't doing golf no more, golf is going to be dead. Now, I do like Bruce Koepka. I do. But I don't know the other guys, you know what I'm saying? Sergio Valentes, Evia Menendez, you know what I'm saying? Beyonce, hey, no way. I don't know all the other people, you know what I mean? Not interested. My two esteemed co-hosts, aficionados, did nobody think to tell me nothing? You know why? Because y'all was too busy talking about what's going on in Jerry's world. I'm starting to think y'all really some undercovers. Y'all undercover. Let me find out. Brother Richie, you over there wearing cowboy socks. Oh, it's on. It's on. Double J. Huh? You got a Jerry Jones air freshener in the ride, in the drop top? I thought so. Anywho, y'all saw the shot. Gully, did you see the putt? I'm going to start with you on it. Did you see the putt?
You know, they was talking to me about these Cowboys, man. And
really?
I didn't see it.
Wow.
I didn't see it.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't
okay. All right. Well, we definitely going to be talking about y'all's favorite team here in a minute. So, again, if you're up and around out there and out and about and you want to give us a shout, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. That number again, area code 267-687-0026. You see, I got them co-hosts real quiet on that tip, right? Yeah, usually they don't stop at nothing.
No, you don't actually.
Oh, now, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, who said they are appalled? Egads, man.
Chris, I can't believe this.
You can't believe
I
it.
pointed out to you that your beloved you was playing.
They got whipped on. Double J. I knew
and yet
that.
Here we are.
I knew that. Listen, I knew that you was playing Louisiana Tech, and when I seen the score was 7-0 at halftime, I knew it was done. I wasn't gonna waste my time. I'm a U fan. I am, but I ain't no fool.
You said you didn't know they were playing. No, don't.
Did I say that?
People. You're on record.
Did I say that?
Right, Brother Rick?
Did I say I didn't know they was playing? Did I say that? Okay. Well, I guess what? Old timers. Yeah, chalk it up to old timers. Senior moments. I don't recall. Like Oliver North said during the Iran-Contra affair, when he said, did you sell the guns to the people that I don't recall. I plead the 15th and the 16th while you're playing. But anyway, let's talk about these NFL playoffs. Do what I like to call a little first look. And then we'll get to our most notables. But we're going to save the Browns. Huh? I mean, Double J, I saw you in Berea last week. You had your bags in your hand. What's going on with that? Brother Rich, don't be chuckling. I see you in the driver's seat, huh? Headed west. Headed west.
We know how you are. We were expecting this.
Okay,
go
good.
with the Browns.
Yeah,
Go
good.
ahead,
Good. No, we're not going to talk about the Browns right now. No, we're going to save the best or the worst for last. How about that? I said the worst for last. I said the worst. I did. Undercover Cowboy fans you are. Yeah, talk about these playoffs, man. You know, this Saturday, of course, the playoffs, NFL playoffs start. And in the AFC, or on the AFC side, we got the Titans at the Patriots. You know, let me say this about the Patriots right quick. That run defense ain't looking too good, Double J. You better fix it, okay? You better fix it. Because even though the Titans are going up to Foxborough, I would not be surprised if the Titans come out with a W. And it's the same Titans team I was lambasting after they whooped on the Browns and went 1-3 after that. And I don't know how they came. They came out of nowhere. Well, they didn't really come out of nowhere. Derrick Henry happened is what happened. And then Fitzpatrick. You know what? The Titans' fortunes kind of turned around when I said Fitzpatrick. When Tannehill took over for Mariota. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, he might just be the one. Well, I wonder if he'll be most improved or MVP or something. I don't know. He needs some kind of award or something. Because if they go in there and beat the Patriots, oh, yeah, Tannehill going to get a big contract. But the Patriots D, man, they run defense is terrible. So, Brother Rich, you, of course, being Bill Belichick's understudy, What are you going to do about y'all's run defense? Let me know while we're here.
I think it's much being bandied about. Pull the tape on this program.
Oh, here we go.
Early
Here
in
we
the
go.
year, you heard me say on this program.
Here we go.
No, pull the tape on this program.
Okay.
Early in the year, you heard us say that look for Tom Brady perhaps to end his career on the West Coast, in the following season. So I am among the people that believe this is the end of the Patriots dynasty, and so I don't know that they can do anything about that.
Oh, well, there you have it. Double J?
I said it yesterday.
Oh, really?
The Patriots found a way to lose to the lowly Miami Dolphins.
Now, don't disrespect the Dolphins like that because they 0-99. They have the Patriots number. They beat them last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
No?
yeah, but that's generally in Miami. I mean, that goes back.
Oh, okay, I got you.
They probably arguably had the best win percentage against them. I haven't looked at the numbers, but I'm in agreement with you there that I've seen this story a couple times with Miami specifically, but generally that's always at the Hard Rock Stadium.
Oh yeah, right.
And but this time around, you're in Foxborough. Think about the mythical and magical, Gillette Stadium, where it wasn't even that long ago that they hadn't lost there in nearly a year. And yet you're going to lose to a 3-win team?
Yeah.
When it's one thing, they're packing it in. No. That you were playing for a bye, and you needed that week off.
You sure did. Yes, you sure did. That's even more interesting. Yeah, it is. It is. I don't know, man. The Patriots, I mean, and we did talk about that. Was their run as a dynasty over? Could that be the like the nail in the coffin, so to speak, or the one, what would you call it, the albatross? What would you call it, something that really stands out like a sore thumb? Is that the sore thumb, the first sign that the dynasty is really and truly indeed over, Gully?
Well, before Gully weighs in, I do want to point out this shows that it's the quarterback, not the system. If it was truly the system, they would still be winning.
Okay, yeah.
And
you
can feel it.
I'm glad you said that because I'm going to use that when I go in and talk to these people who swear up and down it's the system. Good point, Double J. You get a pass on the Jerry Jones talk for now. In the next 3 minutes, then I'm back on you. Gully?
We
boy,
talk all this time about clickbait, about hysteria, about all these things. This is the most maligned, disrespected 12-4 team I have ever experienced in my professional sports viewing history. They are 12-4.
Boy, that's a title.
They lost to a division rival, in which case rivalries throw all consistencies out the window. The Browns, as terrible as they have been, think about it. The Browns, as terrible as they ended up being, was the last team to really give the Baltimore Ravens a whooping, and that happened early in the season.
Well,
the team is 12-4.
But here's the deal, though.
The team is 12-4. Listen, no. The team is 12-4. They have the best quarterback.
What?
Party. I know you probably attend the scrap party.
They are 12. Listen, they are 12-4. They have, at least in the division, if not in the AFC. Oh no, right in the AFC, they are the least scored against team in the AFC, and they are 12-4 with the greatest quarterback of this era.
Well, those are all fair points.
We
no
like
question.
to point holes. These are this is the same. These are the same arguments they gave for the old San Antonio Spurs in 2014. Now, am I predicting them to win the Super Bowl? I'm not so far as to say that, but I'm saying that we've been hearing all year about how it's over and they're terrible. And you would think this team, as much as they've been criticized, as much as they've criticized Tom Brady's play, as much concern as they have, you would think that this team was the 9-7 Eagles that won the NFC East. Or it was a team barely above 500. They're 12-4. Only 4 teams have figured it out, even though as terrible as they've been. And now they're about to go into the postseason. I'm not worried at all about them. They'll probably be in a conference championship, probably against the Ravens.
Okay, so in other words, don't underestimate the champion. I'm with you on that. I can't argue that. But on the flip side, Double J pointed out something that I don't think would be wise for anybody out there that's putting money on these games, anybody out there that's watching on these games and picking them. I don't think it can be overlooked. He brought up the one caveat. How many times have we seen this much maligned team that you say shouldn't be discussed as being much maligned and so on and so forth and all those other things? Have they had seeding and so on and so forth on the line and they didn't come through? If it has happened, I don't recall. It's been that long ago. For the Patriots, and I and I was watching some program the other day on NFL Network. Excuse me. And they did a breakdown like if this team won, what the seedings would have been for all the other teams. And if that team won, it was a big switch. It was a big swing. For the Patriots to have a bye on the line and be in Foxborough and not get it, I don't know, man. And with all those other things you said are definitely true. Definitely true. I just don't know. In this case, I don't know how. That's like the elephant in the room. You can't move. You can't move that out the way. It's just too big. It's just too big. It just really is. And again, I'm with you. If they end up in the conference championship against Baltimore and all of that, that's really won't really be shocking either because you're right. They are champions, and they've proven it time and time again. But I just can't. That whole idea about I just don't recall the time them Patriots ever not coming through when they could have got some rest. Right, Double J? Because if had they beat Miami, they get the bye, and that's what we talking. They wouldn't have had to play this weekend.
Well, you're talking absolutely.
Yeah.
You have this weekend off.
Yeah.
And not only that, you also have a home game.
Oh, wow, that's right. Oh, yeah, it was just a lot at stake, man. And I can't speak for all of y'all. But I feel Brady is, football we talk about, it's a rough sport, man. You know what I'm saying? I done had a host of injuries. Let somebody tell me you can get an extra week off or a week off from work. What? Man, please. Tahiti, here I come. Okay. I'm on my way, baby. That's all I'm saying. Up next, the Bills at the Texans. Brother Rich, who you got in this one?
I didn't hear what you said, sir.
I said the Bills at the Texans. Who you got in that one?
Oh, no. I think that Buffalo is still going to keep going. They don't disappoint till later on. So let's keep going with Buffalo. They'll keep the train will keep going.
Got you. And the Texans, even though they what are they, 12-4? What is the Texans' record? Anybody know? Gully? Is it the Bills? What is the Texans? I know they won the division. Didn't they? Yeah, they won the division.
10-6.
Yeah, okay, 10-6. But I don't know. Some teams, and Double J, and you might can speak to this as well. You've heard, how many times we heard an announcer say, or when they talk about the NFL playoffs, when they get ready to come around, they talk about teams as you want to be playing, you want to be, when you go in the playoffs, you want to be playing at a certain level. They're playing well going into, you don't want to be playing down going into the playoffs. The Texans, man, they don't, they in, but they don't look good. They didn't look good towards the end of the season. They just didn't. The Bills were kind of, but I think so too. I think I'm taking the Bills in that one. I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans won, but I think the Bills will. Double J, what say you, Bills or Texans?
Excuse me. Well, this game's going to be hosted in Houston. Houston just sat Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins, basically the core of their team. They're getting J.J. Watt back. I watched, Josh Allen sat yesterday for Buffalo, and they couldn't do anything, and they lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
As you pointed out, you want to have a flow. Now, if you look apples to apples, I see two very inconsistent teams that haven't put it all together yet. They both have an enormous amount of potential. Buffalo, led by their defense, Josh Allen, in your eyes, is capable of doing the job. And based on what I've seen without him yesterday, I'll give him a little bit more credit.
Yeah, got
that
you.
was terrible.
Got you,
And-
Gully. Bro Rich? Oh, Bro Rich, that's you? I don't know
Yes,
what happened.
I'm here.
Okay, good. I heard some background noise. But go ahead, finish your thought, Double J, so we can get to Gully on, get his thoughts on it too.
I'm actually going to go with Buffalo on this one, and I'm going to say, by and large, credit to their defense.
Yeah, I think so too. That's pretty sound, if you would. Gully, who you got, Buffalo or the Texans?
Then we forgot just who the Texans are, real quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think they have. I think they're going to put everything together that they have, and they're going to win this game. I'm liking Houston to win. All credit to Buffalo having a great season, being a surprisingly surprise. I think that one of the surprises of the AFC, if not the NFL, being how as good as the record as they have and how consistent and solid they are as a team. It's great to build on, but I think the Texans are going to figure things out very quickly and remind the rest of the league and remind themselves of who they are. And I think they're going to take this game pretty convincingly, actually.
All right, sounds good. And over on the NFC side, we got the Vikings at the Saints. Well, we know how anytime the Saints get in it, you can always expect headlines the next day.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then if I'm not mistaken, wasn't the Vikings and the Saints when that who was it? Was it that Diggs? Who caught that touchdown and the defender missed the player and the guy scored?
Right.
So anytime the Vikings and the Saints get together, I wouldn't be surprised if I would not be surprised if this is the most watched game this Saturday. I would not be surprised because I'm expecting something fantabulous or shocking to happen. Refs, Gatorade boy, ball boy, something's gonna happen. Black cat run on the field, squirrel, bird flying, eagles nest. I don't know. Somebody gonna throw a fish out on. Something's gonna happen here. Gully, we'll stay with you. Who you got, Vikings or the Saints?
I have the Saints. We got to remind ourselves, it wasn't a blown tackle. It was not a blown tackle. Let's put it accurately. He went for a stick instead of making a textbook tackle, and it changes the fortunes of that franchise. Had he simply wrapped them up, the Saints would have went to the Super Bowl. They probably would have won it that year. That's what makes it so crucial. It wasn't a miss. It wasn't what happened in Ohio State versus Clemson, where a guy simply made the wrong play. He made the wrong cut. He simply went for something that he didn't have to. I think that's emblematic of what happens, what the Saints' opportunities have been. I mean, you went for something you didn't have to. I think all that being said, they're going to put it all together. I like the Saints to win this one. I like the Saints to win pretty handily as well. I'm thinking this is going to be a pretty handy victory for them en route to a Super Bowl appearance.
Sounds good. Brother Rich, who you got, Vikings or Saints?
Saints. Rolling with the Saints.
All right. And Double J?
They're the NFL team. They're the drama team. They're a team of hope.
You got you. Especially for New Orleans. Shout out to my man Herm Arv down there with the, should I say, Go Tigers, Geaux, baby. Go Tigers. Double J, who you got? Saints or Vikings?
Oh, yeah, I'm rolling with the Saints. I think Dalvin Cook's injury, even if he does return, is too much, and Kirk Cousins is not Drew Brees.
No question about that. All right. Brother Rich, we come back to you on this one. Seahawks at the Eagles. Who you got?
Seahawks.
Yeah.
They're for real.
Yeah.
Seahawks.
Yeah. But you know what, though? Marshawn Lynch looked a little heavy in that game the other day against the 49ers. And that probably was the best game of the season. That was a playoff game, lightweight. He looked a little heavy, but they love beast mode. He still got something left in the tank. And then Russ, I don't know, man. Something about they got down in that red zone. Just the play calling was almost Freddie Kitchens like. You know what I mean? You know, Brother Rich, that time when you was coaching the JV team, you was calling plays from the Denny's menu. I'm just saying, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, let me get a number 5. And number 5, where you going? Get back over here. He took my jog strap. But anyway, you got the Seahawks. You say you got the Seahawks. Yeah, I can understand why. Because Russ is a champion too, and you know, I wouldn't put it past him. Double J, who you got? Seahawks or Eagles?
Oh, Seahawks.
Yeah, I think that might be the general consensus. Gully, what about you? Who you got? Seahawks or Eagles?
No upsets yet. I think this is a Seahawks victory.
Well, guess what? Guess who I'm picking? The Cleveland Browns. Oh, sorry, I read the wrong notes. Sorry. They're not in it. Unless you got Madden. All jokes to the side, whatever side you want to put them on is fine with me.
Well, we know you won't be picking the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, you won't be. I know that. Y'all won't either. And you won't be picking the Browns either. I'm going with the Eagles, believe it or not. They strike me as the kind of squad, when they get in the playoffs, man, it's a whole different ball. I look at them, I slide the paper over, and I pull it back, slide it back away, and I pull it back. Something just won't let me just outright pick the Seahawks. Now, if the Seahawks win, then, you know, of course, my panel, you know, being, you know, you all are the experts, and I'm not, you know what I mean? I think I'm 0 for 99 in picks, but I'll take that. I'll take accountability, but I'm rolling with the Eagles on this one, man. I'm really going to roll with the Eagles on this one. We shall see. Carson Wentz got a lot to prove, though. He really, really does. And I don't know who, Double J, who's that running back that the Eagles got? Because we know Darren Sproles retired, but who's that guy, the running back, man? That guy, I mean, I know it was
Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I know it was against the Giants, but man, the guy seemed bound and determined. But yeah, I'm rolling with the Eagles, so we shall see. And then last but not least, for the P-Rogram for the day and for 2019, fellas, this was a good one, man. I really, really appreciate all of this. Is our notable Week 17, of course, notable team performances, and we only have one notable team performance. Okay, I know I just mentioned the San Fran Seahawk 26-21 thriller. But we all know how that turned out, right? I want to talk about, in a sort of Bass-Ackwards kind of way, the Browns losing to the Bengals. And in the aftermath, like the Cowboys, the Browns fired everybody on the staff. They fired Brother Richard twice. I don't know how that happened. And they fired Double J, told him to come in to the building. He get to Berea, and then the secretary at the front desk said, "Oh, we just wanted to tell you, you're fired." What happened? What happened to the Cleveland Browns? Huh? Don't make me pull the tape. Because the last time I pulled the tape, or the last time, should I pull the tape, excuse me, it was all this talk about running tables, playing 9-ball, Willie Masconi, chalk up after every shot. What's the Ace Ventura, Pet Detective? You know what I'm saying? It went wide left. He kicked it wrong. Cody Parkey. I mean, Donald Igwe, BK. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. I mean, Brother Rich and Double J, y'all really sounded like, about the Browns, y'all sounded like Jameis Winston. I mean, I appreciate the confidence in you. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, you know, about the $30 million. Yeah. But you threw 30 interceptions, Jay. What, Mr. Winston? Oh, man. Really? Okay. Vinny Tester, blind birdie. Anyway, Double J, would you like to start off the proceedings? We only got 19 more minutes before we got to get out of here for 2019. Isn't that interesting? But Double J, I mean, if you would, try to keep it to 500 words or less, you know what I'm saying, if you can. I'm pretty sure you can. You know what I mean? You can sum it up in one word. Stinker, if you would, about the Cleveland Browns. That drop top going to have to sit in the garage for another year, huh? Sorry, not sorry. Go ahead.
Well, this was the best thing that could have possibly happened.
Oh, my God, I knew it.
You still have the same roster,
the
same great players,
mm-hmm.
and you get a second chance.
Oh, please.
Had this gone any other way, you would have been stuck in neutral, spinning the tires with the wrong guy.
You know what, man? You clean that up really. You know what? You know what? Boy, you like a politician. Like a politician. Woo, you cleaned that up real good. Brother Rich, Let me hear your soliloquy.
Well, I think I have to agree with my friend right here because you can pull the tape on this. We said early on this program, I'm glad it's the last program of the year, because pull the tape on what we said earlier in the year. The problem was clearly leadership here. We knew that we had to get rid of the leadership here. We had the talent assembled, and I'll just lastly say to the audience, global warming. This is an example of global warming. We sensed the cold wind, a nice warm wind was coming in, but it just came in it's a little early. We were a little early, but it's going to happen. The weather is going to get better, and it was a little global warming right now.
Yeah.
But the Browns, it's all about the dog pound.
Listen, let me say this to you. Leadership, terrible as it was, I will not argue that fact. No way and Gully, don't you dare say nothing in this case about no division game. I don't want to hear that. Because it is true in a lot of cases, but in this case, it's no way in the world the Browns should have lost to the Bungles. No, 33, 30, you give up 33 to the Bengals couldn't even celebrate right. Who's the guy who knocked the ref to the ground with his helmet? I thought you weren't even supposed to have your helmet off on the field. Last time I checked. Huh? Yeah. Go ahead, say what you got to say, Gully.
I believe you and I, Barbershop, had the same concern a year ago when the decision was made to not retain Greg Williams as the head coach and to move Brady Kitchens to offensive coordinator.
Oh, but our two esteemed other co-hosts, they ain't going to mention that. They ain't going to say pull the tape on that one. Continue.
Yeah, that was our concern came to fruition. That we anointed a guy, a position over the whole team because of the one part of the Cleveland Browns that has been amiss probably for the last decade, really, perhaps even since they've returned in '99. So we gave him too much. Now he proved maybe not capable to handle that at this time. So now he's gone off altogether.
Oh, but hold up, Gully. Hold that thought. I just want to ask you a question right quick. How long you been following the Browns?
Since I had the Hutch football uniform back in 1990.
Here we go with this.
This ain't legacy. It got nothing to do with legacy. This is about a long time ago. Well, how long you been following the Browns since the Hutch football uniforms, Gully? Since you was about how old?
Yeah. Oh man, knee high to a grasshopper.
Okay, that long ago? 20-some years, maybe. Yeah. If not a little more. About 40-something years. And I think Brother Richard even alluded to this point to some degree about legacy. You can't disregard history and all. I think he said something about that when he was talking about some other subject. You know what I'm saying? Now, hey, no disrespect to my other esteemed co-hosts. You all make the program what it is. But I'm going to give you the biz. You and Double J combined have not been fans of the Browns longer than Gully has not been a fan since wearing Hutch uniforms. Gully, would you please tell our other esteemed co-hosts that we used to this? Would you please we are used?
Hey, what y'all say? It's Tiger Woods hitting that. It's Tiger Woods hitting that ball that they thought was so passe. It's par for the course.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's all right. You know what? I'm so glad y'all Browns fans because guess what? God willing.
So here's the question.
Ain't no question.
Are y'all both telling me in your lifetime the Browns have had in your lifetime this assemblage of talent in your lifetime in the modern era? I don't want to talk about Jim Brown and when they invented football.
Okay, I got you.
That sold the first football.
Okay. No. Brother Rich, you're right. Well, I could say to your question, we have the only time that I've seen this type of talent was the Cardiac Kids. After the Cardiac Kids era, right? I don't think they were called the Cardiac Kids really so much. So in the mid '80s, with Kozar and Newsome and Clay Matthews.
Dad, you stole my thunder because I was getting ready to get him. I was getting ready to get him. Here's what I was gonna say. There has not, in my lifetime, been this assemblage of talent. Talent. I mean, when you look at the roster and you look at the names on the roster, you be like, what? Oh, man. What's Double J's famous line? Oh, man. I'm putting $500,000 on the Browns and double down, baby. Double down. Just by the names on the roster. But here's the killer part. That's all the more reason that they shouldn't have stunk. Because in the mid-'80s, which is about as close as you can get to talent, and really to tell you the truth, Ozzie was the only really household name on that team. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about talent, like a guy who you could mention him in the conversation during that time with other people at his position, and maybe Bernie. But Webster Slaughter, Reggie Langhorne, Brian Brennan, and even Metcalf. Metcalf was on them teams, wasn't he? Yeah, Metcalf was on them teams, I think. Oh, I can't remember. Metcalf was a dog.
No.
Metcalf was on.
Metcalf,
that was right.
Later.
Okay, so
okay. You talk about Ernest Biner.
No, but Ernest Biner
and Kevin Mack.
Yeah, Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack were there. But now here's the thing: Kevin Mack may have been somewhat of a name, but what I'm saying is, the talent that the Browns have now trumps that talent. That talent was nothing. But a lot of them guys became a lot of people didn't know most of them guys on that team. They became something and were winning. Went to 3 straight AFC championships. And we all know the history. Never mind, we're not going to go all off into that. That's all the more reason that team was able to do the improbable almost. Even the Cardiac Kids. Shoot, the Cardiac Kids was even worse. They was in the AFC Championship. Brian Sipe won the NFL MVP that year. If you take him off the team or don't do that, I mean, Dave Logan, I guess. Ozzie was on that team too. Ozzie and Brian Sipe. But Brian Sipe went to San Diego State. Okay? It is sunny and nice out there, by the way. But I'm just saying, so you look at the talent on this team, man, they should have at least... And because we've seen teams, despite the front office failures and the all of that stuff, sideline debacles, we've seen teams despite the coaching, right? Because the same argument was made for when Mike Brown was coaching the Cavs. Hello? Anybody home? No, Watson.
We're here.
Oh, okay, I'm just saying.
But you're right.
I'm just saying.
Again,
yes.
I just want to know.
Yes.
My question was quality of talent. Y'all answered my question. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay, well, I mean, the closest you could get maybe was Braylon Edwards, Bummy Wheaton, Joe Jurevicius, maybe. But this roster, up and down on the defense side.
Brother Rich, how does that speak to the accuracy of Mayan Barbershop's concern when the hire was made? We saw the talent. Right, we read it the way you. I mean, I think we agreed with you. We read it the way you read it in terms of the talent on the field. Our concern ended up being what the front office and the Browns and I guess all the fans and whatnot. Our concern ended up coming to life, and it was that the coach.
And Brother Richard has always been saying coaching.
Pull the tape. We said this.
No,
I said this early. This has been
but
my
wait a minute.
With Jake I say this about the NBA. We've
been
saying this.
Yes, but wait a minute. See, hold on, Brother Rich. Hold on. See, here's what's before we mesh the two. What Gully is saying is, while some people were saying they gonna run the table, they gonna steal, we coming with all of that. When they made the move before, why some people were saying that, we were saying, oh man, no. I'm not no drinker, but I went to the liquor store and bought everything on the shelf. That's all I'm telling you. Y'all didn't know it over here. I had it in an Aquafina bottle, so didn't nobody really know. But y'all was over here getting sauce, baby. I was not really, but because I don't drink. But I'm just saying. See, we could see while y'all was saying they was gonna run it. We appreciate y'all's optimism. But when we seen what they did, I wanted to say, okay, well, I hear Kitchens, he talking like it, but they don't sound like they're hungry, man. Here we go again. So when I said, in those weeks when y'all was saying yay, I was saying nay because of that, what was said when they hired Freddie that day. Okay? But we glad y'all on the Brown. All we saying is, Don't be surprised if y'all have years of futility as fans, is all we saying, Brother Rich, Double J. Man, y'all my boys. You my homie if you don't get no bigger. Oh, and guess what? I still want to know who killed Cornbread. Anyway, that's another day story for another day. But you get what I'm trying to tell you, huh? Rucker Park in the house. Yeah, man, 2019 was great. Man, my cat from up the north side, Double J. We ain't closing out right now. I'm just make mention all the people that called, man, Carlin, the Doc. I thought Doc was gonna call in today. The Cali, man, everybody from Michigan, from New York, Chicago, the Parlay, Kendall Gill, my cat Tony Lopez, the locker room, man, everybody, man. This was y'all just don't know it, man. I've been going through a lot on the personal side, you know what I mean? And coming here when I open the shop and I get y'all on, man. Some people, you know, they turn to alcohol and things of that nature, you know, to get that momentary relief or respite, you know, from the realities of life. Not me. You know what I'm saying? I open the shop, man, and I get y'all in here, man, and if only for a moment, you know what I mean? My troubles be gone, man. So I appreciate y'all for that. You know what I'm saying? I really do, man. From the bottom of my heart, man, I appreciate y'all for that. All of y'all, Gully, everybody that's involved, all the people that follow us, Facebook, all the people I go back and forth with, you know what I mean? Y'all just don't know. You all give me the energy I need to keep going. That being said, dog frown. And in the Cleveland media, didn't even have the dignity they had the audacity, I should say. Do you know they was outside filming when Freddie walked out the building, man? All he had was a little backpack and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's all I'm trying to tell y'all. I like the guy. He just wasn't the right guy. Now they talking about Josh McDaniels. Here we glow again. I'm just saying, Brother Rich, Double J. Y'all, it's official now. We you know, Brother Rich, you good for saying pull the tape. We still recording here right now. We are live. You and Double J are Browns fans to the end, right? Right, Brother Rich?
Fact.
Okay, Double J, you with the Browns to the end?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, get ready for it. You think the Lions are struggling? Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet, buddy. Nothing. All I'm trying to tell y'all is me and Gully, we've been sitting through it. You know what I'm saying? You know, Gully is his family, actually.
2020.
Yeah, uh-huh. And you know, and I'll take this one on the head. I wasn't expecting this, and no, I'm not a fan. We talking football still here. I was surprised as all get out. Jerry, is this true, Double J? Did Jerry Jones actually fire everybody on the staff, including Jason Garrett? Or is that just clickbait?
Yes, sir.
Man. Well, how come Jerry didn't fire himself? See, that's what I mean by narcissism. And you know what? There's a guy in another group I'm in. Tavar Brown is his name. And he said, he posted something, and it made me think. He said, watch. He said, let Jason Garrett come to the Giants and watch they be good. I said, dang, man. I thought about that. I said, you might be onto something. And I'm going to tell you why. Jerry Jones handcuffed the Dallas Cowboys. As an owner, he too busy wanting to be, he like a helicopter parent. See what I'm saying? Especially them type mothers, no offense, ladies, because I got ladies that listen to the program, who got sons whose son, you know, the son go to do a thing a son should do, and they like, oh, no. They putting a helmet on the boy or putting him in a bubble. No, you got to let the boy grow. You can't be meddlesome. You can't always be running to the rest. Jerry, sometimes you got to, if you hire somebody, you got to get out the way. You got to get out the way. And I think to a large degree, Jerry is the reason why the Cowboys have not been what they've been since forever and a day, and give fodder for Stephen A. I do. I think Jerry Jones is the main reason why the Cowboys has had the struggles and have become the laughingstock of America.
That's a good defense for your number one client in the sport.
How am I defending him? I just said Jerry Jones is the.
I mean, as a Cowboy fan,
I'm not a.
all the Cowboy fans, you just gave them a Christmas gift, a Hanukkah gift, a New Year's gift, a Goodyear gift, a summer gift. You wrapped it up in a nice defense package.
I can't.
Meanwhile, you crucified the Cleveland Browns as a franchise of just trying to stumble back to get on their feet, and at every turn you excuse these bumbling, fumbling, stumbling, bumbling billionaire idiots in Texas.
No, I'm not defending them. And I'm not necessarily not defending the Browns. I respect the talent. But all I said was, when they – okay, Brother Rich, let me throw this at you. Who told you about Greg Williams?
You did. That's my point.
Okay. And when they got rid of Greg Williams.
You helped fill out my argument. You helped me to understand what I understand about football.
Right.
Remember, listeners, I learned what I learned from football, technically wise, from you.
Okay, so when they let Greg Williams go, I tried to warn you in Double J what it might look like. I still wanted to believe because I said, man, when I went to camp with Herm, I thought these dudes was hungry. So I thought they was going to say, you know what? Like Brian used to do with Mike Brown, man, forget what he talking about. We're going to run this play. Give it to me. I thought the players going to be like, hey, man, I thought they was going to be hungry. I thought they was going to still be hungry. But when they let Greg Williams go, I was like, oh, no, man. Oh, man, I got a knot in my stomach. And I told you in Double J, I said, hey, man, hold it. I said, don't put no money on the hole. Slow down. What you doing? Whoa, no, don't go down that street. No, don't go down that street. No, it's a chuck hole over there. And what you and Double J tell me? Man, kick rocks. Dropped the drop top and was out. I'm trying to tell you, this is Cleveland, man. There's chuck holes and orange barrels everywhere. You got to listen to the natives is all I'm saying to you.
Yeah, it's just the fact that the ownership, I think, got caught up in the fandom. And what I mean by that is the idea that you had some semblance of an offensive identity, which is the one thing that consistently the Browns, sorry or potentially sorry as they've been, they've never really had that except for in 2007 with Derek Anderson and Kellen Winslow and Braylon Edwards and what have you. That 1 year they had
Brandon Whedon.
The semblance of you said Derek identity.
Was that Derek? That wasn't Derek Anderson. Was it Derek Anderson?
Yeah,
that was Derek Anderson. My bad. I said Brandon Whedon. My bad.
He went to the. It seemed like that was that year. You were 10-6, missed the playoffs because of how tough the AFC was. But my point is, they romanticized the effectiveness or the promise of their offense and felt like if that's all, then you could do it all. Everything else could take care of itself. But no, what came about with Greg Williams was a level of accountability that you only see with great teams altogether. Aside from what he did in New Orleans, okay, his manner of execution, there's something lacking there. You know what I mean? The idea of it is there was the Saints, and they have a great organization. There's an aura of accountability and acceptance. The Patriot way, do your job. Mm-hmm. Every great team in the league has it. Mm-hmm. The Browns started to have it last year with young talent, and we didn't realize that. That's what it was. That's how a guy like Baker Mayfield could show the potential that he showed. We romanticized the effectiveness and the promise of our offense and felt like that was the missing link. And now you got your offensive genius who can't control the rest of the team because part of what was missing was that esteem and accountability that every great organization has. Is what the Ravens have with a young quarterback.
And listen, let me say this too. Like him or not, Todd Haley too. In Greg Williams and Todd Haley, that's really what sold me, to be honest with you. Greg Williams more so. But I told y'all, when I went to the camp and I saw Haley and Hugh Jackson, kind of lightweight having words, I didn't want to believe it. I was like, oh, man, come on, not this, no infighting and no whatever. And I wasn't close enough to hear what they were saying, or they could have been talking about where they was going to eat dinner or whatever. But the nonverbal communication, it wasn't. And I'm not saying I'm no authority on it, but I didn't have a little bit of experience in it. I was like, oh, man. But, you want to believe it's the Browns. You out at Berea, and I was behind the scenes and standing next to Njoku and Jarvis Landry and all of them. I'm like, it took me back to my childhood. Red Right 88 up until he threw the interception. You know what I'm saying? And Biner and his 74-yard scramble and, against the Dolphins in 85. By the way, if you really a Browns fan, Brother Rich and Double J, y'all really, really want to see why we say what we say about the Browns and why we still have an affinity for them, so to speak, go watch that divisional playoff game between the Cleveland Browns and the Miami Dolphins when Dan Marino was still at his best. Go watch that game. Don't watch the drive, the fumble, the shot. You don't need to see all that. We know that already. You know what I'm saying? ESPN always throwing that back in our face. We get it. But this is what I be saying to people that claim to be football fans and sports fans and really know. See, go find that. It ain't no diamond in no gem, unhidden gem or hidden gem for me. I watched them games, and I was a lot sharper with the sports talk back then. There wasn't no senior moments back then, baby. When I had hair, trust me. Now that I lost a few follicles, yeah, life happens. But that game, oh, my goodness. And my man, Don Rogers, may he rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? We all know the story, Don Rogers with the cocaine and everything. But Don Rogers had a cast on his arm in that game. Man. Oh, my goodness. Oh, one of the best.
Here we go.
Where we going? I'm just saying, man, that was one of the best played football games I'd ever seen on any level. One of. That Browns-Dolphins. Go back and watch that game. That's what you do. YouTube that. You see what I'm saying? Then you'll understand why we say what we say about the Browns. Good or bad. But before we get out of here, fellas, Double J, we'll start with you. Any last words for 2019? We got 14 minutes, man. Any last words you want to say to the people for 2019, heading into 2020?
Well, yeah, I do. First I want to start with, as you guys so frequently point out, from a fan's perspective, the NBA season doesn't start until after the All-Star break.
True.
However, just this evening, the Miami Heat, 23-win team, the number 2 seed presently in the Eastern Conference, went into Washington, D.C. to play, I believe, a 6-win Washington
Wizards team, yeah.
Team without Bradley Beal and or John Wall, of course. And they lost by double digits.
Not shocking.
Trailing by as many as 18 points. Additionally, speaking of Florida teams, Orlando, who just over the weekend beat the 3rd seed, Philadelphia 76ers at home, and welcome the, again, maybe 7 or 8 win Atlanta Hawks into the building without Trae Young. And yet they lose.
Not shocking.
So I have to ask you guys, why? See, I'm intrigued. Why would you say such a thing? Because, look, you didn't see. There's a reason why the Bulls had the record that they had with Jordan.
Oh, the 70. You talking about the 72 and 10 team? Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely, but that's the thing. If you're going to be a great team, you don't lose.
Go ahead.
You don't lose games like that.
Listen.
And you don't lose them in the manner
in which you lose them. You lost.
That these guys are losing. I mean, at one point in time, like I said, down 18, you're the number 2 seed.
Yeah. Well, we it's not even 45 games yet, and I get you, and I want to get to Brother Rich and Gully because we getting a little short on the time. But that's a good point, though, Double J. But the thing is, and every person on this panel can speak to this, and every person that's listening can speak to this, because the type of people that listen and the type of people on this panel understand it. As a competitor, I don't care what game it is or what game it ain't. I just mentioned earlier in the show about Bird and Dr. J getting into it. I believe it was in a preseason game. As a competitor, I don't care if we playing tiddlywinks, rocks, paintball. I don't care what it is. I want to win. And I'm going to let you know, as long as we out there, you better be wanting to win too. Everything got messed up, man, when they started giving out participation trophies to everybody. Where's the incentive? It ain't none. Look, you can have a bad night scoring. You can have a bad night rebounding. You can have a bad night at the free throw line. But if you ain't giving me everything you got that you say that you got, or like Brother Richard said about the appearance of when you working out and all of that, to your craft, you say you love this game, it's flowery rhetoric. Because if you really love this game, whether it's game 10 or game 30, 60, or 80, and they talking about shortening the season in an in-game tournament and it is this and that, we got to do all of this manufacturing to make the game substantive. Why? What's my line, man, about storylines creating the game? What's my line? Huh? Yeah, y'all know what it is. Brother Rich, 2019 to 2020, man.
First,
Holla at the people.
I want to thank you. Thank you for having us on the program with you this year. It's been an honor and a pleasure and a privilege. We look forward to being with you and hopefully to help build the platform further. And we're honored to be a part of this wonderful program. I believe it's very timely. It has a place in this market space, in this time with what's going on in the world right now, and just keeping it real in this world. The last thing I'm going to say is I agree with Double J. The league, and this goes to your point you've been making to us for quite some time. While the league is very talented, the passion of the league and the
style
appeal
of play
of the league to real hoopers has dwindled over the years. And the people are going to start focusing on some of these older basketball programs that we used to pay attention to back in the days, the Georgetowns, the Memphis. You know, it's happening. But thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, man. And God willing, man, we look forward to 2020, man. Having y'all back for 2020 for sure. Gully, what say you, man? 2019 going into 2020.
Well, I echo the sentiments of everyone here. I'm glad, I'm honored to be a part of what we're doing here, to be able to provide an outlet where we can discuss the way that we do discuss about sports, man. I look forward to being able to help bring this even bigger, make it better for 2019 and into 2020. And I'm looking forward to it and excited about the potential that we have to be able to do that. As far as sports and sports culture and all of that, it's an interesting day, interesting time. Things are changing. Things are changing, and we're able to be a part of it. I'm looking forward to see how this NBA season is going to turn out. We've been very critical about certain people and not so critical about others, admittedly. But I'm really excited to see what that end result is going to be. As far as the NFL season, we've got a chance to witness greatness and witness history in the making. And I'm excited to be a part of that. So, like Drake says, I guess, what a time to be alive. And I'm really looking forward to those things. And I'll give it back to you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Fellas, as always, it's been fun. It has been fun. It has been a year, a tumultuous year for me on a lot of other fronts. But like I said, you know, when I open up the shop, man, I already know. I'm going to be like, man, whatever I'm going through ain't so bad, man. I got these cats riding with me. It's all to the good. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. Go to Spreaker, to the search box, type in the shop report. Or you can check us out on our Facebook fan page, Twitter, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and give us a follow or subscribe to our YouTube channel. And, of course, you can always send us an email. Get at us via email, theshopreport365@gmail.com. And just let us know what topics you want to discuss or look forward to us discussing going into 2020 and anything else you want to throw out there. If that don't work, Google it. For my mans, Be Rich, Double J, D Gully, and all those who support and follow us, we say from the bottom of our heart, or our heart, my heart, we thank you. See what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's because of the people we able to do what we do. You understand what I'm saying to y'all? For real, for real. And we are not above the people. We are of the people. So a mad shout out to the people. And thank you. Barbershop J, you've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. 2020, holla.